literally my favorite meat. But I've never
I mean,
known
that would kind of.
But if there was a lamb is absolutely delicious.
He's in the chat. I haven't seen that guy in a minute.
Lamb over turkey at every single holiday. If I can always choose it. Turkey's overrated. I'm a lamb kind of person. We'll go back at 2 o'clock. We'll be back at 2 o'clock. Sharif's in the building. Joe's in the building. They're locked and loaded. Let's see what we got for some small caps. Midday boys right at you.
Do this.
Get it, Donald.
Boom. I actually had turkey burgers last night.
The turkey burgers.
Yeah,
the turkey burgers are pretty good.
Yeah, we did turkey. Yeah, and we go turkey bacon.
Turkey bacon's good.
Yeah, we like that fresh cut.
Greetings and salutations, beautiful people. Welcome to the Midday Show. That handsome gentleman is your boy Joey Options, and I'm Sharif Cristobal. Shout out to KK. Scott H and Oxlong's in the house as well. Shout out to Bob Steven and Ronaldo. Dinkelberg. Curtis Paulson. Never seen your name in the chat. Like to see that. JG, we got Danny Patel and Vern. Shout out to Greg. Fluffy Hippo. She's back, baby. We got Basketball Boy, 44 and 21, sugar-free. He doesn't with the sugar, okay? Ooh. Rex Banner, Hangry Wife, Mark Susi. We got Kirk D and Bristol Ichiro. We got Gaia Talax, sorry, butchered it probably. Heffy Bull, Andrew Sandoval. We also got Byron Hart and Andrew Chow. Shout out to Matt McGew and Texas Fartman. Okay, okay. Shout out to Texas Fartman. We got who else? Mike P. D. Ryder. We got Chris W. And who else, man? Throw your name in the chat if you're new. We got Jai Singh. We got Hinsey, Grant Ratcliffe, and then last one, we're going to end off with this. All-class Adam DeLuce. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, Vietnam. Dude, what's going on, everybody? I hope everyone's having a fantastic session. Let's get right into it and see what we were trading this morning. Yeah, we were taking some longs on Bitcoin. Didn't go our way, but that's all right, guys. I was short initially, and I'm like, oh, wait. I see some indecision prints that might signal a potential long. The market was tanking, and Bitcoin was holding up relatively strong, and then I flip. So essentially what happens here is I just flip my size, I add into the break of the volume weighted average price, and then it tanked on me. I'm like, what the hell? All right, so we sit on our hands for a couple of minutes, patience, and then I take this second attempt for the break of the volume weighted average price, and then it just decided to want to tank. So the original thesis of playing the break of some key support levels was definitely the one to go with, but unfortunately we were thinking something else there, guys. A gap up, and I'm like, I just had a strong feeling it was going to be a fade. It caught me, and then that's when I typed into the chat earlier. I'm like, oh man, I got caught in a bull trap, 110%, and then it moved to the downside. So other than that, guys, that's all that I really got going on today. I'm going to be looking for some precision trades, and the market is bleeding. I'm already, I think, $8 now out of the money on META as it tanks almost $20 on the session. This thing is going absolutely bananas to the downside, and we don't love that whatsoever. Now, does we? No, not at all. I thought this signal would hold up, but maybe considering its waterfall type price action, it's going to take a little bit of time for this boat to turn around.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Get to steer in there, Joe.
Yeah, I'm trying. I'm trying to. I might have to steer clear of this one.
Get whatever you need, bro. Yeah. I mean, thrusters. You can get the paddles. You can do whatever you want. All right, let's get down to work. Okay, LPTX is a monster, an absolute monster. It's up 165%. You know, it shows a red candle every now and again just to keep things interesting. But no, seriously, though. So I'm working my way into it. We wet the beak a couple of times. It's breaking down a little bit, right? Not breaking down. It's pulling back. It's not at the highs. So my plan on this one is I'd like to punch some in at the halt level. The halt level there is around 113. 113, 114. I'm looking for support there. If that doesn't hold up, I'm looking at the dollar. Really? Because the dollar psychological support, as we always talk about, but it's also the 10 exponential moving average on the 5-minute chart. So we're gonna do it live. But there's this one as well. So there's a lot today. So either I'm gonna have a good day or I'm gonna get shut down. QH is absolutely breaking out. This looks like a halt perimeter. Sorry, we have to cover this for a second. So 139 is the day's high. Beautiful textbook hold off the volume weighted average price, which was overlapping with the 10 EMA right down into that 120. I perceive a couple of bull flag formations on QH. The initial one, 1010. We pop up into 120, drop down into 102, bull flag number one. The breakout comes on the first 5-minute candle to make a new high, 1035. Boom, that's bull flag number two. This one looks like it's going to form a third bull flag. Whether there's a fourth and a continuation, only somebody else up there knows. I don't. So we're going to keep an eye on QH. Separately, I'm also involved in BigBear AI. This one I'm playing as a range off the volume weighted average price. We've had multiple trades on this so far. As soon as I sat down, I saw the love affair with VWAP that BBAI is having at the moment. So I'm just adding into the VWAP area and then popping off some sell orders in the mid-20s, high teens. Alas, we are putting in lower highs in this range that we've established right now on BigBear AI. So if this breaks down substantially below $7, that ends the trade for me. But so long it's continuing to defend 7, we're going to keep taking this trade. We're going to the big desk.
I just want to let you guys know here, keep an eye on Coinbase and Circle, any kind of stablecoin related plays. Scott Besson has made some comments here about stablecoins, saying that he believes they could grow tenfold by 2030 from $300 billion. So again, just the stablecoin market and treasury market mainly being addressed here by U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Besson. Sounds like he's about to wrap up his remarks. Once he's off the podium, keep an eye on that position board. I will let you guys know. I'll put out a news blast. Back to you.
All right, Joey, what do you got, my man?
Yeah, for sure. I'm just mentioning Gorv in the chat. He said we're both in a little bit of meta here. I'm going small. I'm looking for a little bit of a pop, guys. Nothing substantial whatsoever. And if we get it, then we're just going to hop out immediately, right away, because we don't want to. The waterfall type price action, in which I was referring to earlier, is dangerous, and the momentum is most definitely to the downside. I agree with you 110% right here, Gorv, is that I think we're going to get a hefty snapback. It's just going to take some time for this thing to turn around, and I'm okay with that. So there we go. We're starting to get a little bit of a move to the top side here in META. Let's go and not get too ahead of ourselves. I told you, any form of a pop, 612, I'm going to take everything off. Hopefully we can get that, and if the market wants to bounce, I think we're going to have a good probability of that happening. Now, as for the crypto names, Bitcoin, we were talking about this a little bit earlier, woo, flush to the downside. Ethereum, woo, flush to the downside. Tesla, woo. So a lot of sliding going on here on today's session, guys. So just go with the PA, unless you believe that we're going to get somewhat of a rebound. But what we got going on with Tesla is a lot of stopping volume. Let's actually, META, let's kind of just break down the volume price analysis. Whether it's going to work or not, we don't know. Only time will tell. But we have this massive candle. Look at how this is isolated. If this wasn't as weak as it is on today's session, you just, in my opinion, in my playbook, you hammer that, hammer that. But this waterfall is absolutely dangerous. On the 5-minute, you don't have a single green candle until 11 o'clock. So you have an hour and a half of just straight selling on META. For some people, it can be absolute disastrous. We can take a look at it from a daily perspective as well, too, right down to that 610. I do have a strong hunch that this signal is going to hold up. You just have to be patient. It may take some time to turn around, but other than that, we're patient. We're going to continuously sit in this, and there goes Meta right back to the entry price. This is exactly what we want to see, my friend.
All right, guys. PRTH being called out by Julian No Brother. That's really low on volume and below the volume weighted average price, so that doesn't meet my requirements at all. It's got also, less than 500,000 shares traded so far. Julian asking about PRTH. That's not going to be down my alley there. All right, so we mentioned some of the main names, LPTX, QH, and BBAI, but there's others. DVLT, that we've seen this one show up multiple times. It's trying to take out that $160. Let's see if it does that. SPRU, quite good as well. It had a bit of a move there in the aftermarket, so this one was, on some people's minds maybe in the morning, but it wasn't doing anything in the pre. It really started getting the volume bars showing up right at the open there, and it's been quite good. For the most part, it's had higher highs, higher lows, excuse me, with some intervening pullbacks here where we broke that trend, but most notably, generally, the higher lows are there, and it is above the 10 EMA, it's above VWAP, so SPRU, very much of interest to me at this moment. CNTA, I wish this one was CTNA, so we could call it Katina. No, but really, it's got a couple of bull flags here as well. The initial one I perceive to be right at the open, 9:30. There you go. You get about a 15, 20-minute consolidation. We put up another bull flag. This one, though, looks a lot weaker than the initial one, so be on the lookout here for a move back into VWAP. That's my suspicion here on CNTA. We also got NVA. This one's also flagging, bull flagging, that is, right at VWAP. Now, it does breach it, so you have to be alive to that. If you're going to put your stop right below VWAP, expect to get stopped out. It's done it once, twice. Obi, he is the one thrice, 4 times. So be on the lookout for that. Be strategic in your stop placement. If that means taking smaller size so you can give it more room, so be it. All right, 1213 high, VWAP at around 1143. Watching this one very intently, but BigBear AI is losing VWAP. Again, it's got a lower high. That's going to end my trade. We only have a couple of outs left on this one, so we won't give back too much. I don't like the look of BigBear AI's jib right now. Reason is we put in 1, 2, 3, now 4. Sorry, 3. I counted the first area top. 3 lower highs, and we're giving up some key levels here. I'm not saying we're going to lose 7, but we keep making lower lows below the prior area low, the prior area trough. So BigBear AI in focus for me. But let's look at LPTX. There it goes again, back into 23. Shout out to Jordan. 24 is now showing up. Can we get 25 on this monster? It's already up 182%. There's a monster seller, Joey, at that 24 penny level. But some size is getting taken off the gateway there. But now I'm seeing more size come back on. So that 24 seller is trying to ruin the party here for the small cap gapper longs like myself. Let's see if we can shake him and then spike up possibly into that third of $1.33s. That's the high day.
Ooh, man, Ethereum getting lit up here, guys, as it's continuing to bleed to the south side. I got to keep my eyes here on META. I might have to hop out of this a little bit prematurely just for risk measures and everything along those lines. So if we don't get a bounce here and we crack this 909.60 level, then yeah, there it is. I don't know if this is going to work. The momentum is to the downside. We'll give it a couple more seconds here before we bail, before we jump ship here and try to find something else. But all right, a nice little rebound. You can do it, yay! But yeah, let's take a look actually at Ethereum on the on a different chart here. Why does it always do that? So frustrating. Geez. All right, there we're getting there. Boom. We don't want you guys to see that one over there. All right. Sorry for the lackluster here, but we got to pull some things up. Let's see what we got going on. Oh, this is going disastrous right now, Sharif. We can't get any of our buttons to work here, but that's all right. We'll figure it out. Woosah. Calm heads prevail as they always do.
Nice,
all right. Here's
Joey.
here's Ethereum, guys. Let's minimize this. Oh, Tom Lee. Down to 33.9. 33.90.
I'm not even adding yet.
No.
I haven't added yet.
No. Now is not the time, man. This is not good as you give up the majority of your move that we experienced earlier in the year. You got a high of around almost 5K. You're now down 32% off of those levels. And I mean, if you want to talk about repeat offenders, we're known for, I mean, Ethereum's known for this, right? You go on these monster runs. Oh, we're doing nothing for a couple years. Oh, we get a little bit of pop and just back to doing jack squats. So at the end of the day, Ethereum taking it on the chin. That's almost going to be a knockout blow for a lot of individuals. Wait till tomorrow comes out and we'll see how many liquidations we got, Sharif, in both the crypto names, whether it be Bitcoin and Ethereum. But there it is, guys, heading towards the lower end of the range on BTC.
All right, guys, I'm just putting out some orders here on SPRU. I punched in at 28s. It's showing me 29s, but I'm not looking for the, okay. I could get behind this.
Oh, hey! Oh, it's like that. It's like that joint we were just looking at.
Which one?
The bingo.
Oh,
yeah, you know what I mean.
Who's heard of Loco Bingo, guys? I've never heard of Loco Bingo. All of a sudden, I find myself doing deep dives, Ram, in Loco Bingo. Have you been to Loco Bingo, Ram? No. Okay, well, she's being sullen as typical.
All right, boom. All right, let's get out of this.
She has not been to local.
All right, man.
All right, guys, we're sorry for the outage in the lights. We'll get that taken care of as soon as possible. For now, we're just going to keep it on the screen, so we'll be talking about our trade. So SPRU, Joey, I'm throwing out some profit takers here for a possible spike up into near high day. High day, that is at 40. It's a 3 penny spread right now on SPRU. It's a $4 $1/3 name with about 3 million shares traded. So we are going to get a bit of a spread on this one, okay? But as I see it, QH is popping off again, and it's holding the volume weighted average price. It's got a nice little hammer candle there. So we're going to get into this trade as well, man. Let's get into a little QH over here. Maybe a nice price spike up into mid 40s. What's my plan on QH? Well, I'll defend into the $1/4. Why? That's where VWAP and the 10 EMA on the 5 are both hanging out at the moment. So what do we get? We got 37s on that. Let's go ahead and throw some at 29s, I would say, SPRU. We're going to go down into 29s, look to wet the beak there, maybe on a planned DCA. So we got 3 trades right now, Joey. We got QH, we got SPRU, and we got LPTX. Let's see how they do, baby.
Hey, all right.
Okay.
The all right, we're getting a little bit there. Yeah, I mean, we could just keep it on
like right
there.
in our eye.
Hey, man, good thing I'm not a vampire. Otherwise, I'd be in trouble. But hey, man, we're glowing now. Hey, it's a party. It's a party. No, in all seriousness, guys, let's see if we can find a potential bottom in the overall market. VWAP is hugging price. Relatively close on a lot of names, so we have to take that into consideration. Meta it's still hovering, but this is just waterfall, so we're gonna stop talking about this for now. Can we get the lower end of the range here on NVDA? You can see that we haven't been participating on the complete mess in which we are seeing in the overall market today, so that's good. I believe that this name is going to hold up strong. Oh my days.
You okay, Joey? You want me to take over?
Yeah, no, I'm all right.
Okay.
So here it is. I mean, you have this nice indecision print. I was worried that that was going to be a fake out. We haven't filled that gap just yet, but be cautious of when we do break the lower end of the range. That's going to be around 191. As soon as that snaps, watch out for it to head down to the 87s. And if we're going to be really, really weak, here we go, we're back in action, then we're going to break through that 179 level. I think this is an absolute buy, especially anything south of 180, 175. You load the boat on NVDA.
Hangry wife. Are you guys setting the mood over there?
Oh.
We don't got control. The production team, you know, they're taking care of it right now. We got Rob.
Back up.
We got Mark. Everybody's on it right now, and the lights seem to be back, so we're good to go. All right, shout out to Casey. She's telling me ALTO. Casey, I'm going to look at that, but I've really got to manage this trade right now on SPRU because it's coming in to the volume weighted average price. What do we have? We have 23s. It's showing me 20s. Let me take a quick look here as to where I want my out. We're going to go just like that. Oh, no. All right, well, that's back. So that's SPRU, and then we're going to get that one, which would trigger... yes, so that will be 19. So let's go ahead and wait there, and then we're going to go just like that. So now we've got that safe and sound. But look at this, QH popping off right into area highs again. I want to say this candle topped out at 47s because my print at 48 didn't get touched. Now I've got another one north of 50. At 53, so by definition, it will have to be a new high for me to get that print on QH as the high is 52. Did we pop off on SPRU? Show me SPRU. Did we do okay? What do we got here? I love these ads. SPRU, we got 23s on. It's showing me 28s. Now let's take some profit over here and let's let this one kind of do its thing. We don't want to take out too much too quickly. Let's look at ALTO for Casey now. Let me just take that. And Big Spile, I'm going to look at the SPY in 1 second. Actually, I'm going to get Joey to look at the SPY because that's his world
Big
there.
Spile.
ALTO. What do we got on Alto? Light on volume, Case. We got 969,000 shares. It's not a bad look. The trend is not bad. There's nothing bad to say about the trend. It's higher lows, higher highs. Took out that earlier high at around 186 where we double topped 193. It looks like it's going possibly to $2 Case. The issue is, though, the liquidity here. Not great. What's the spread? I'm trying to look at the my top screen over here. 7, no, that's a high and low. Well, I can't see the spread at the moment, but ALTO, not my cup of tea, Casey, but this could be a big winner for you. I mean, if you don't really care about the illiquidity, because some traders don't care about that. You know, they work around the illiquidity and they're totally fine with it. Do you want to look at SPY for Big SPY?
Absolutely. Is that Big SPY who's asking
He's
about
in,
this?
yeah.
SPY?
He was talking
all
about SPY.
Absolutely, yeah, man. Let's take a look. I mean, this is what we're talking about here, guys. This has been an insane run. Okay. You still have to take into consideration that we're only 1.2%, 1.25 off of those highs. So, I mean, it's not run for the hills just yet, guys. So keep that in mind. Trend still intact. I think that it will breach at some point. We're just slowly starting to curl over. What this is kind of giving me vibes of is this, even though I know it's a little bit different nature and everything. But I used to write, no, where was it? This is the daily. So a lot of writing going on. I was doing back here in 24 and everything along those lines in late 22. I think eventually we'll start to curl over at some point. CrowdStrike is insane, man. What a beauty of a stock. Boom. This thing is, woohoo, man, that's something that I would absolutely love to own. But as for the SPY, just be patient, man. We talked about it in the likes of Microsoft as well, too. This isn't going to be sustainable. We will pull back eventually, whether it be 10%, 15% or something. You just have to be patient and go with the flow until otherwise. You don't want to be a negative Nancy and stand in front of this bull market because it will light you up at the end of the day, regardless of what happens from this intraday session. Like, we got the likes of Meta tanking aggressively. You're now almost 30%, I believe, off of those highs, 23 to be exact. Yeah, but that's a buy, man. This is a beautiful opportunity, I think, to get involved,
thing,
right?
I completely agree with you.
Yeah.
But, like, are you going to be like the master timer?
No,
Maybe.
absolutely no.
You
no,
know
no,
what
no,
I mean?
no,
Maybe.
no, no.
Maybe you are. But most people, I don't think, would be.
No,
right?
absolutely. But that's where it goes into, like, don't go into full position at once, right? Like if you break that up into fifths or whatever, you grab 20% of whatever you're looking to allocate here, it sells a little bit more, you grab another 20%, it sells a little bit more, you grab 20%, and then eventually, once it does turn around, you're laughing, you have a good average price, and then boom, you're off to the races. The thing is, it may take substantially longer than what we think or have a plan for, and that's what the market does. It will outweigh you every time, and you'll be like, man, what am I doing here? And then sure enough, as soon as you get out, the stock decides to rip or do something along those lines. So
we're going to Adair.
But I and Google, as well as these ride-hailing companies, most notably, I would say Uber. Google, or Waymo here, which of course is owned by Google, apparently posted a video saying that they're now beginning to offer fully autonomous freeway rides in San Francisco, LA, and Phoenix. So Google here at lows, but Uber did get a little bit of a spike on this. Again, Waymo announcing that they're going to start offering fully autonomous freeway rides in some areas in California and Arizona, as we send you back to Joe and Sharif.
All right, Dad Huang, what's up, my friend? Joe, I just bought Meta 610, 100 shares, intended to sell covered covered calls. I'm assuming what you mean December for 710 with 7,200 premium. Good or bad idea? I mean, that's not a horrible idea. It is quite a ways away from where we're currently trading at. And I don't think you need to write as far dated, right? Like, if you just bought them, go something near dated, collect the premium. And if it still hasn't worked, then by all means, just continuously roll over. It's the exact same thing that I got going on with my IBIT calls that are just getting absolutely obliterated. But let's pull up Meta. This is what I personally would do. You're in at 610. So pretty much you're right off of the lows. If you're not in love with the trade appreciating immediately, I would start here. November 9th, we're in at 610. Well, guess what? By next week, if you don't think that we're going to head up to 650, you got 100 shares. You can collect 150 bucks just like that. And in a couple weeks, boom, it expires. Then guess what? You're going to roll over to the next week. You're not anywhere close. You think that it's going to be a little bit longer, more bear sentiment. All right, we're going further out. Same strike price. You collect $300 more. So bang, that's how I would operate it. I don't think you need to write something that is so far dated out, Shreve.
Okay, guys, we're taking prints on QH, but because this one is quite volatile, it pops off into a level, drops back. I'm trying to kind of look through the noise by trying to keep my eye on the higher lows, and that's what we're getting so far. For the most part on QH, there are going to be intervening candles where that trend breaks, but for the most part, we do have higher lows. So we're doing well on this position, taking some prints, but I got to be alive to the fact that we're also getting aggressive topping tail candles. It just dropped off into VWAP, got back up quite aggressively. I'm assuming because a lot of orders like myself had, dip trades at the volume weighted average price. So we just stopped out there for the last little bit. We're going to keep our eye, though, on QH. And then we're doing it live on SPRU as well. Where we got it here on SPRU, we got 21s, and we just took some there at 35s, looking for continuation above 40. 40 is the high of the day on SPRU. And it has been tested 3 different times. All 3 times, that 40 penny area rejected on SPRU, okay? So I am kind of, a little worried that this loses VWAP, because in the same way, it's rejecting $4.40 to the north side, the same way that it's finding support at the volume weighted average price. So if it gives up that level, I don't know how I feel about it, right? These ones are around for a good time, not a long time. Let's not fall in love, all right? So keep an eye out on this one. Let's see if it pops off. We still have shares here on SPRU, so I definitely got to take out some more here, Joey. I'm going to layer some orders into areas I already took profits just because we're still holding shares. So we're going to keep an eye out on that. And last but not least, LPTX. We're obviously watching that. I was telling Tisha in the chat, despite the fact that we're consolidative now, in a consolidative state on LPTX for at least 15 minutes. Are we going to open up a new candle? No. So this one just opened up. For about 15 minutes or so, what I do like about LPTX is the higher lows, okay? The higher lows on the last 4, well, it's more than 4, but I'm just looking at the last 4 5-minute candles. Each one has a higher low. That 33 seller, though, is a staunchy little bugger. We were unable to shake him. I still have planned DCA's dollar cost averages into key levels for LPTX. It's quite extended, if you want my honest opinion. Look where the VWAP is. It's below the dollar. It's at like 92 pennies. We're trading at about 115. 10 EMA is at 104. So I'm absolutely fine with LPTX coming in a little bit so we can get some more at better prices. So, of course, it has to hold up. Otherwise, I don't want the smoke. But that's what we're going to keep an eye on there. So SPRU, LPTX, and then I might work back into QH because QH ended up wicking me out, but it looks like it might be holding trend again. Super chat says Assassino. Is it the one? It's on the screen. Oh, David, Ram, get them a flashlight. And are you all dying? Can you get radon test kits? ALA The Office episode? Toby? Okay. He's like you. He set me up for failure there because I don't watch The Office.
Yeah,
but I'm assuming this happened in The Office, and because Katina was talking about he was dying. Neil had his allergy attack. I had my allergy attack.
And I'm just sitting over here like,
bro,
man,
I suffered
like
last
put me
night,
in a
bro.
bubble or something.
Yeah.
Man.
Well, my allergies are not contagious, obviously, but dude, I woke up last night. I was telling you in the kitchen, obviously, so you're gonna have to hear this again. My bad. Itchy palate, runny nose, watery eyes, sneezing up multiple storms, right? And this is completely atypical for me at this time of the year.
Yeah.
So I'm like wondering what the hell's going on. I'm
is-
smashing Reactin. I'm smashing Flonase, okay? Nothing's working. And I go to the dentist this morning. I talked to my cousin's assistant, and she's like, her kid had a monster flare-up last night. So it feels like it's something in the air, especially with your boy Neil also suffering as well.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. I wish all you guys all the best. Because chances are it's gonna probably,
You're
probably,
so kind. You weren't sarcastic at all, Joey.
I do. What do you think I wish? What do you think I want you guys to get more sick? Then I gotta sit here and be like, oh man, it's only a matter of time until your boy gets sick as well too. Man,
bro, allergies are not contagious.
I know, but Katina Man was saying that he wasn't feeling that well. You're right beside Katina Man, and then you mentioned that, hey, I feel it coming.
I did.
Yeah, and then if it's going down the line, guess who's next? It's going to be me.
No,
so yeah, exactly. All right, guys, we're short a little bit of Tesla. Nothing substantial whatsoever. I'm just trying to survive a little bit here. Again, so we get this pop up, reject the trend line, move down, pop up. Let's see if we can get the rejection of the trend line and establish a new low when we're going to start piecing some out. Or it wants to play some tomfoolery, and that's going to be the base and not go anywhere lower, which we will not like whatsoever. All right, so you're long. Oh, okay, Dangerous is a long Tesla. That's probably the play to go, considering I'm literally 0 for 3 right now at this point, so not really much I can say about that there, guys. But let's continuously look at this, see if we can get it. I'm just trying to follow where the momentum is, and it's clearly to the downside. But AMD put in a nice indecision print right at the volume weighted average price. Boom, maybe a continuation of trend. This thing's been an absolute beast.
All right, man. Just putting in some of my orders over here. All right, let's get to LPTX because that one dipped into the 10 EMA and we got the fills, but we have no prints on the way up and we are 2 pennies out of the money right now, up 150%. My deal is I'm going to defend this into the volume weighted average price, so I am getting little entries here and there. There's a seller at 8, an aggressive seller right now that we're unable to shake. It feels like that's the case literally at almost every level. So it does feel like, you know, the shorts are gotten a bit more aggressive on this pullback down as they're looking for the reversion. So we have to be alive to that as well. How's my SPRU one doing over here? Nothing, no prints yet on that. The spread is a little annoying. It's coming into 27s and it's ironically not printing and it's done it multiple times. So let's see if we can set something up here on 6s. Let's see if we can get 6s to wet the beak. Let's see if that ends up triggering or not. All right, so keeping an eye on that. I also punched back into QH. I'm giving this to current bar low. Okay, so keeps getting defended at the 10 EMA, at VWAP. I realize it's putting in lower highs. I see all that. However, I'm going to risk a little bit over here to prior. Now it's prior bar low. So prior bar, I'm talking about 1125. We just opened the 1130 candle now. My guy Joseph says, Sean Aaron, thank you for the $5 Canadian super chat. How do you manage your stops on options, Joey? Calls on a 3-week window. Would you stop loss that or let it ride because you have so much time?
3 weeks is not 3 weeks is not very much time.
Not, eh?
No, it's no time essentially. It doesn't give you enough. All right, let's get out of this Tesla. Oh my days. We tried just going with the trend and then sure enough it decides to get a little bit of a pop on us. Let's send it over to Adira. We'll get back to your question. Jesus Christ.
I quickly want to mention Cigna as well. There's never really much volume on this name. Today is no exception, but we do have some comments coming from an executive at the company saying they're working with Novo Nordisk and Eli Lilly on some changes to GLP-1 drug prices following the White House deal. I do want to talk here about Bitcoin. Here is BTC. We had some comments on the stablecoin space from U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent. Nothing huge there. He just said that he continues to see stablecoin growth or continued stablecoin growth. But I want to mention some comments made by SEC Chair Paul Atkins, just in general here on crypto tokens, which I think are a pretty interesting look. I did mention here, I was talking about token taxonomy, which is basically the process of categorizing these tokens a little bit more, again, getting a little bit more into the regulatory side of things with regards is what do you call what is in what category, right? So again, these comments made by Paul Atkins are in line with things he's previously said and also comments made by Commissioner Hester Pierce on the SEC. Atkins saying that certain categories of crypto tokens should not be considered securities in and of themselves, specifically network tokens, which are going to be linked to a functional decentralized blockchain network. That category, though, actually covers a lot of these tokens, including Ethereum and Solana and XRP. Another exempt token category that was mentioned here by Paul Atkins are digital collectibles. That would be like, you know, memes, kind of near the NFT side of things. So some interesting comments here from Paul Atkins. BTC, regardless of what's being said here, because it wasn't really related to BTC, continuing to try to hold on to that 102,000 level. We'll have to see if the support holds, because it held through the end of last week, guys. As we send you back to Joe and Sharif, please do make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoy the content, and join us every single day.
All right, so yeah, guys, essentially what that question is, the good thing about options is that you can just correlate it with the actual underlying price. So when you pull up your profile on it before you buy the contract, you can just set your stop loss and it will tell you the value of the contract at that specific level. So if you're looking to set your stop at, say, 590 on a meta here, you have a couple weeks out, December 5th, you're going to lose approximately $850. So if that has to be what you're willing to risk, it's the same thing. So whatever contract you're looking at, use your gauge and use your profile to set that stop, and then you can just place the order after that.
Can I mention something about stops that I always like to talk about? So options, correct me if I'm wrong, Joey, highly illiquid at certain times, right?
For certain names.
For certain names. Not everything is the same. Yeah, so I don't want to paint with one brush. But what I mean to say is, so you can't trigger any buy or sell orders in the aftermarket or in the pre-market on options, right? Even if you have your price, there's nothing trading.
No.
Just want to make sure that I got.
No, nothing going on there.
What I was going to say, so what kind of stops? Because remember you and I were talking about this. What kind of stops are you using? You're using stop limit, right?
Yeah, stop limit.
And are you putting a wide spread between the stop price and the limit price because of the illiquidity?
You can't, if it's extremely, if it's e-liquid, so like for an example, let's go to something, say you're an AMD, right?
Okay.
You're not going to have too much worries about the liquidity aspect,
Right,
and the spread isn't going to be so wide. I mean, that's still $15, but in the options world, it's nothing crazy. You go to a name like Apple, it's probably going to be even a little bit tighter there. I mean, like that's a $2 spread, which is essentially nothing there.
That's,
so,
but what I mean
so you can put it on the ask, so you can put your, you can put the trigger at the ask, and then the actual order fill on the bid.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was trying to get to there.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Joey, for that. Appreciate it. All right, guys, keeping an eye on things here. Still holding my LPTX trade. Looking for this one to hold up at the 10 EMA. You know, there is a lot of chop and churn. You have no idea how many shares are changing hands here. 418 million, 0.7, so almost 419. And I don't know, man, maybe like 10 million's churned since I've been watching this area here. There's a huge seller at 10s and 11s that we can't seem to shake. The shorts are really aggressive with these small cap gappers. They are really looking to mean revert this. And funny enough, I was talking to Chow back there. He's one of the algo guys in the, yes, of course, the algo room. And he's like, he only takes these small cap gappers short. He's like, it's a sure thing, you know, because they're around for a good time, not a long time. And obviously, he's very successful doing it. I typically don't like to do that just because I feel like I want to ride with the momentum. And the lights are out again. Oh, baby. It's getting romantic in here. So we're going to keep an eye here on LPTX as it drops back down into the 10 EMA. Anyway, I'm going to defend this into 90 pennies where the volume weighted average price is, which I'm fine with. But anyway, I wanted to say that I feel that the shorts are really, really aggressive here because we've had a lot of aggressive buy orders to the north side, none of which are printing, okay? So keep your eye out on the sellers at this level on LPTX.
Oh, okay, all right, bang, all right. Sorry, brother, I didn't know what was crack-a-lacking over there. All right, market's starting to come back in a little bit. Nice grab off of those lows, Gaurav. Hopefully you took some off there as you started to reject. So you just want to draw your support and resistance lines out. You head right into that, reject aggressively, and now starting to head a little bit more to the south side. AMD is in its own world right now. It's just, again, this thing is absolutely phenomenal on today's session, considering what we're seeing in the Nasdaq. Boom, VWAP hold, off to the races. So keep an eye out. Maybe you do construct a lower high, but I wouldn't put it past AMD to continue its grind to the top side. Some indecision prints on Tesla as well too, so not too bad of a look. A hammer candle off of those lows, and this name is off to the races. Oh my days, how did I miss that one? All right, so yeah, let's go over our volume scanner and see what we got cooking up over there. If there's anything that we like, then we'll take a little bit of a stab at it. Is the market going to completely recover on today's session? Possibly. I mean, it's not looking too bad. VWAP is hovering PA relatively tight. You can see it start to curl over, hasn't smoothed out just yet, so keep an eye out on the volume weighted average price. Someone said they're taking a shot from every time we say VWAP, they say they're already lit, so I just said it probably about 6 or 7 more times, so I hope you're having a good time on that one. Palantir, what are you up to?
It's Wednesday, bro.
It's Wednesday, I know.
Easy.
It's Wednesday, man. Hey, man,
alcohol sucks, bro.
Yeah, it does, honestly. As you get older, I like it less and less and less, but to each their own, I guess, Sharif, at the end of the day. Amazon, it's all right to hate a little bit, but I mean, there's other ways that you can have fun. BMNR off of those lows, nice indecision print there.
Man. All right, here we go. LPTX, finally we get a print, but we are not out of the woods quite yet, as this one has encountered yet another seller of note, a monster seller of note, hanging out at 14s. He was hanging out at 10s. He's hanging out at 11s. He likes all these levels. So what are we going to do, man? We're going to have to wait till somebody bigger, badder, and with more buying power than I takes him out, because I'm a market observer, not a market mover. So we'll continue to watch and see what we get on this one. SPRU's been good to us, though. Where is that at? Pardon me. Yes, got a good fill there on the bottom at SPRU, and we just wet the beak there at 32s. Now I've posted a little bit higher at 42s. So this one will have to be a high of daybreak for me to get that print on SPRU. But look at that hot garbage QH. Lose the bid. It is on the way down. It is going to lose the dollar momentarily as it loses the 10. It loses the 20. And it certainly lost VWAP. Now it is coming in to that critical area of psychological support. I am, of course, talking about the dollar area. So we'll see what QH has to say for itself. But I want to bring this to your attention as well. NVA, we mentioned this one at the top of the show. I said, you know, be careful with your stop placement on NVA because it has a tendency to breach VWAP. Well, it did, but it also found aggressive buyers that have now taken out that pesky 1175 to 1180 level where we were selling off aggressively. Here comes $12, and if we breach 12, we'll be 13 pennies from the high of the day. This is a more prolonged bull flag, and quite frankly, it feels like we may have broken trend on this one. So NVA, another one to look at if you're small cap gapper inclined. Keep your eye on this one. And then DVLT, it's not the biggest name on the day, and it certainly had a bad day yesterday. It had a bad day the day prior into, you know, after the open, had a good, decent day on Monday in pre-market. But now it's got some higher lows under its belt here and some higher highs. So this one feels like an upward channel on DVLT. How you trade it, you know, let me know. But I'm going to keep my eye on this one. Nothing doing yet. Nathan Penna. You don't want me to say VWAP. My bad. Oh, bro, come on now.
Is that what he said? Why? Like, you have to say it, brother.
Well, no, because it's like you know how I am, right? You tell me
that's
not
the
to say
that's the guy who's
it,
taking
right?
shots. That's Nathan. It's Nathan taking
Get it,
shots
Nathan?
every time we say VWAP. So
Brother.
bang, there's another one, brother.
What time zone? Nathan Tag Joseph.
I mean,
Sharif,
it's 5
what
o'clock.
time zone you
it's
in?
5 o'clock somewhere, brother.
Well, it is, but
Yeah.
you know, it's not 5 o'clock anywhere in North America.
No, not quite. But I mean, you go
in Europa.
and I mean, it's lunchtime, right? In some places, I mean, it's close to lunchtime.
Absolutely.
1 o'clock. Is that a reasonable time to get the party going on a
Joey,
Wednesday?
when is the first acceptable time slot to take a drink in Joey Options book?
It depends where I am.
Oh,
yeah, that's
vacay, there's a whole new rule.
Oh, brother.
Hey.
Oh, 10 a.m.
10 a.m.
Ramin,
You don't even drink.
Ramin, listen. When I'm on vacation, the first thing that I do is order a mimosa.
Hey,
the first thing, as soon as my eyes are open. And if there's already beer in the fridge, it's bright and early. Right away. Yeah, this is vacation mode.
10:41 a.m.
Yeah, 10:41, man.
Central time.
5 o'clock somewhere in London. Almost 5 o'clock in London.
It's 4 p.m. in London.
Exactly.
Stuart has an excuse. Nathan, it's too early, brother. Are you Texas, Nathan? Are you Chicago? Are you Heartland? Let us know where you're coming from, Nathan. Obviously, you're Central Time.
Listen, for the veterans who know, there's only one way to not be hungover.
How do they do it, Joey?
You just fire it right back up.
You get another one.
You fire it right back up. That's the only way to kind of mitigate the hangover. And when I'm on vacation, that's my way of dealing with it. Is that you just got to keep. That's why I can only go away for 4 nights. Night 3, I'm already a complete write-off. And I'm ready to go home. So that's what we got going on. Let's see if we can find something. It's
420 Blood Monster.
What's 420 Blood Monster?
He's like, yo, it's 420 somewhere, baby.
It's 420.
You're gonna light up, Joey.
He's Blood Monster. But I know where he is. I know where he's located. He said it's not legal where he is from.
Not yet.
So, not yet.
I'm surprised your friend Keir Starmer hasn't, kind of moved the needle on that.
You know where he's from, though?
Is he from England? 420
420? Yeah. Well, for a little bit north. No, I think a little. I think he said Ireland, maybe.
No,
he's all right. Maybe you would know.
Big smile. He's from Houston, Texas. I knew you were from Texas, man. Central Time.
So that's what he said. Big smile. Exactly, big smile. You can't drink all day unless you start in the morning. That's as simple as it gets. But anyways, all right, on to some positive. I guess it is positive for some individuals. Let's see if we can find something to trade. We might have to sway away from some of these tech names, guys. What's SoundHound been up to? Some of the earnings report. Pfizer went on an absolute monster run yesterday, Sharif, and continuing its trajectory, going oppo the overall market. But look at this move from 24 bucks. Now you're up to 25.80. That's big time moves in the Pfizer land, breaking off of these lows and continue its climb, heading towards some key resistance, which I think is going to be a massive pivotal moment for Pfizer and company.
Just give me the light. Okay, shout out to 420 Bud Monster there. QH is moving, says Casey. She's absolutely right. We got a doji candle here, and then the first 5-minute candle to make a new high. Alas, Casey, we are below the 10. We're below VWAP, so I'm going to have to say no to QH at the moment. I know you weren't telling me, but I'd like for this one to weasel back above the 130, and let's start talking about some higher highs and higher lows above the volume weighted average price. I'm still dealing with this LPTX trade. It's holding the 10. Moving at 10 exponential moving average on the 5-minute chart, but it's taking quite a while, and there's a whole lot of churn here in terms of shares. Last time we reported to you guys, it was 418 million shares. Now it's 433. So there's quite a bit of shares churning here with not a whole lot of price action development. My plan stays the same. I'm buying at $1. I'm buying at 95 pennies, and I'm buying probably in the low 90s as well, because that's where the volume weighted average price is, and I'm going to maintain that bias on this name, LPTX, up 150%. SPRU, we're incrementally taking beak wetters here and there when we are able to. Is it messed up? Okay. Joey, can you take over?
Yeah, absolutely. You got your little mic issues, no problem. We'll figure that out, no problem. For our production team is A++. All right, I'm still waiting for that answer there, Mike P. DeRider. Yeah, he said there's only 2 things that come from Texas. I'm assuming it's barbecue and something else, right? What else would it be? Test those. There goes the TQs heading right back to the downside. Those selling pressure candles coming into play. Little hesitation, nation, on my behalf. As you can see that we have a key support level that it broke and is now heading towards that 109 level. Keep an eye out on what the overall market is doing. If some of these big names continue to bleed its own blood, then you're in a lot of trouble. MSFT, there it is, boom. Wow, Microsoft getting lit up today, Sharif. Let's take a look on the daily.
Have you looked at the market cap of Softy? Google is going to overtake Softy, and it is close. Okay, let's do this right now.
Yeah, let's take a look.
So Softy yesterday was 3.7. It is still 3.72, okay?
Yeah.
Google's got 2.5 down today, 3.439. We are really close.
Sorry, what's Microsoft's again?
Softy, Joey,
is
3.720.
And then
Google Goggles is 3.439.
It might hit 4. It might, man. That's a neck and neck race. You know what? Let's do this right now. Who has a better chance of hitting 4 trillion first, Microsoft or Google?
I'm going to go, okay, well, because Softy's been above 4 trillion.
It's been there. It's been there. But who do we think the momentum side is on currently right now?
Clearly, look at the chart. The chart speaks volume. That's a consolidative chart, as you can see. We had a great uptrend earlier in the year, Joey.
And then we'll head over to COGS.
Show Google. The monster Google is absolutely all gas, no brakes right now. Well, it's got a little bit of a break today.
Yeah, it's slowing. But I mean, you can't deny this. You head up into, I'm pretty sure like 295 it hits that. Maybe even a little bit less. So
well, I made a controversial call. I said to you very clearly, I think Google overtakes Apple next year. That's just my opinion, bro.
Brother,
they got more things in the hopper.
In the pipeline? Yeah, I mean, by all means.
It doesn't bother me as long as Apple continues to go up and makes money for me.
With these guys, with these 4, it's always going to, you're always going to have that race. You're going to have one leapfrog the other. Some are going to be hot for some time. But as long as that concentration stays relatively the same and you don't see one fall off a cliff, it doesn't matter. In my opinion, all those big names are going to be winners in the long run.
Yeah, exactly. All right, good luck there, guys. Good luck. Still holding here on LPTX. You know, when it does pop into some levels, I am letting the beak because, well, we're holding to the 10 EMA, but we're not exactly rocketing up. There's really nothing of interest for me right now. Somebody told me to look at WULF. That's TeraWolf, so don't put WOLF. Excuse me for a second. We just popped off a little bit here on LPTX, so I got to wet the beak. 15 showing up, seller at 15. I promise I'll look at TeraWolf in 1 second, but I want to see if we're going to make the first 5-minute candle to make a new high here on LPTX, because it's been a long time since we can. Now, that seller at 15 is annoying, and he's back. And he keeps putting more size on the gateway. So that seller at 15 is an Uncle Sheriff shit list right now. So we're going to have to find out who he is there, Joey. But let's take a look now at WULF. How's TeraWolf doing on the day? Okay, it's a bit of a downtrend here, guys. I don't know why you like this. This is a lower high situation. So that's, you know, strike number 1. Strike number 2, we've got 4 topping tail candles, all of which rejected the volume weighted average price to the T. So I don't like this. I just personally don't like this. It had a very bad day yesterday right from the get-go. This thing right at 925, the sellers couldn't even start waiting for the market on open. They started selling at 925, and when all was said and done, from that opening print to the low of the day, we lost about 15.5 percentage points on WULF. Today, it's just not for me. It seems like a downward channel. If you insisting on playing this for whatever reason, I play it as a range. using the upper trend line and the lower trend line as your guides for entries and exits. So, case in point, if it comes down, you know, into about like 1220, 1225, wherever, 1215, you're buying, pops back up into the upper trend line, you're selling. And you're continuing to play the range unless there's a breakout or breakdown, in which case your strategy needs to change because you're initially looking at it as a range and now you got to look at it as a trend trade. So that would be my suggestion for you on WULF, but it's not for me, Joey.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, dangerous. This thing is getting absolutely lit. I mean, we were right for the short idea once again, but then we just get a little, this pop up, and then sure enough, you put in a new low of the day. So what I was looking to hold up didn't come into play, an additional liquidity grab. I think I bit sub 100K before 4 p.m. Absolutely. I mean, it'd probably go overnight, considering the Asian markets tend to make it a bit weaker as well. So as soon as you head into the post market, it does get a little bit of activity coming in. So keep that in mind, guys. And this is what I was talking about in the TQ. Selling pressure right at VWAP. Boom. You now establish a new low of the day right around 109.85. You have to take that into consideration. So I'm looking at SoundHound, Google. I had Robinhood up, just trying to sway away from some of the major tech names and look for some relative strength. I might have to fall over into small cap world with Sharif to see if we can get something rocking and rolling right there, because everything I touch right now is turning into dust, not diamonds, but that's all right. Shout out to Diamond, Dallas, Page, DDP, and company.
That guy changed so many people's lives, it's not even funny.
DDP?
Yeah.
In a good way?
In a fantastic way.
Yeah.
After, you know, he struggled with addiction,
Yeah.
as many wrestlers of his generation did.
Yeah, absolutely.
He found yoga. I think he also found God, which was really important too. So, yeah, he has like his own yoga thing.
Oh yeah, he's like a little
Venus
retreat
or something like
Venus
that.
yoga or
Yeah,
something
like that.
What was that guy's name? In
Bringing all the wrestlers who have like obviously mechanical issues with their body, and he's helping them that way. Kind of.
I watched this story on this guy who just abused steroids for too long, and he had eczema before, and then it just lit his body up after he got off of that stuff. What was that? Let me know.
Really?
Yeah. It was really bad. It was sad too. He's like, man, I wish I never started that stuff. What's that guy's name from Napoleon Dynamite? Rex, who's like starting off with the wrestling like classes and stuff, and then I think
His brother.
Kip goes to the thing.
Goes to the,
His name was Rex. Oh man, what a classic movie, man. Yeah, that stuff.
Bro, anytime that movie is on TV, I will stop what I do and watch a little bit of it at least.
Used to throw a pigskin a quarter mile for sure, man. This is crazy.
Take it easy, Uncle Rico, bro. You're dreaming.
Bro, that movie's honestly, that's
so
some good stuff, man.
It's a classic.
It is an absolute cult classic.
Remember those
100%.
American Eagle T-shirts that would say "Vote for Pedro"?
Yeah, vote for Pedro. Yeah, man.
So
I remember in elementary school, this one girl recited. We just had a school dance, and she did the whole dance that Napoleon did at one point. Yeah, it was hilarious.
That's actually a tough dance.
It is a tough dance. All right, guys.
Let's get to this.
Yeah, exactly. Paula Malone. Hey, guys from South Carolina, USA. I need y'all to blow me a kiss for good luck. Put some extra sugar on it.
There it is, bro. We're sending you bare love.
Hey, that Southern hospitality, we're sending it all day, every day. Shout out to Paula
That's a real
Malone.
thing, bro.
Yeah, it is real. I noticed it when I went to, when I went to
Dallas?
To Dallas, but even at the Chick-fil-A was insane. I know they're like that, but it just felt extra hospital.
It is, bro.
And even Chicago was pretty good as well too. That Midwest stuff. So shout out to whoever says Americans are mean. They're not mean, man.
I don't think that at all.
No.
I don't think that
when you
at
go,
all.
obviously you go into the city like New York and LA.
Course, people will yell at you here.
Exactly.
Constantly.
Here, it's constant.
Yeah,
constant.
are you kidding me?
I'll fight anybody on the street here. It doesn't even matter at the end of the day. Like you don't want this. I don't do kisses. So
I don't do kisses. Sorry. Well, they were for you, Rivian Millionaire, but we love you anyway, brother. Shout out to you. You must be very happy right now, clearly.
Smooth one. We never know. That's the thing.
What
you never
happened,
know.
Joey?
We'll see what Smooth One said on that. But let's get right back to these markets and see what we got going on. We're going to head right back to our scanner and see if there's anything special cooking up. How has Circle been acting on intraday session?
How's it been acting, Joey?
Not too good. Still climbing significantly lower. Once this pre-market support level broke at 93, it's been completely off to the races, brother.
All right, guys, we're still dealing with that seller on LPTX. So I've been, wetting the beak on some profits on the pops up. My plan has not changed, despite the fact that we have been putting in higher lows on each successive 5-minute candle. I should be adding into this position, not taking some out. So I'm going to put a dip trade over here. Let's go ahead and put one. Oops, that's a mistake. So I have to change that now. LPTX. There we go. Good. And let's go ahead and wait over here. I'm going to front right now. Let's see if we can get 8s. So LPTX certainly has lower highs. I'm not trying to make the case that there are no lower highs. But what I'm perceiving is higher lows off the 10 EMA. So let me make my case to you guys. So clearly, area high, lower high, each successive candle lower highs. But the opposite is also true. Area low, higher low, yes, and another higher low. So I don't want to say it's a compression pattern because the lower highs are certainly a lot more aggressive than the higher lows. But what this is telling me is that buyers are perceiving the same type of support that I'm looking at, which is that 10 exponential moving average. So if we can kind of get that big buyer that sees this trend and then decides to overwhelm the sellers who have been selling at 15s, I think we may catch a nice price spike up. So in that case, here's 15 again, and they're selling at 15 again. That bugger, he keeps showing up at 15s, man. In any event, put your orders, layer your orders, because this one could price spike, take up 15, 16, 17, 18 all in one get-go, and then if you don't have anything there, you may miss it because then the sell orders may come equally as aggressive to the downside. So wet the beak by putting in your resting profit takers there. There it is, 15. That monster seller came in again, Joey. It felt like we were going to take him out there, and we did it. So that is, there's a whole lot of chop and churn coming in on LPTX. So continuing to watch this one. I think this one is still the best one. Let's see if I'm wrong about that or not. Let's see if we can pop up to 15. But I know for a fact that that 15 seller is gargantuan in size, given how many times we've touched 15, how many shares have traded at 15, and the fact of the matter is we haven't even had a print above 15. So that's all the proof I need. Let's see if we're able to take him out, Joe.
All right, good stuff, man. We're going to go small size here. We don't, again, full disclosure on my session, it has been almost death by 1,000 paper cuts, essentially at this point, looking for the break of this support level. I'm just going super small right now to see if we can get anything working in our favor. And then sure enough, you get a nice bounce off of this support. So we'll be patient to see if we can get that rock and roll. As soon as it breaks this pivot level, we're going to be getting out of this trade, and then we'll have to sit on our hands for a bit. Adair, what do you got? All right, cool, good stuff.
What was that? I didn't hear it.
I didn't hear that one.
Okay, go ahead.
They're LPXT and SPRU. Sharif, I got to start looking at some of these names. I'm going to put them on my chart to see if we can get involved in these ones. All right, so that's not looking too bad. Trend up on that one there. Let's take a look at SPRU. It doesn't even matter what these tickers do, Sharif. They're looking pretty good. Continuation, a nice pop there in Bitcoin to the top side, and we are short, brother.
All right, short. Joey. We're taking some prints here on SPRU as it goes right back into that high. It's now 1 penny away, Assassino, from the high of the day. We're talking about 440. Now we're showing 39. So let's see if we can get a price spike up. We have some shares here on SPRU. So let's go ahead and post a little bit higher. So we're at 40. Can we shake that 40 seller? I'm going to put something at 49s as well. Good look for SPRU into the high of the day it goes, but that seller at 40 feels like they're equally as big as that seller at 15 on LPTX. There's 40 right now. Nothing printing above 40, so we'll pack our patience and see if we can get a flat top break. This is now the 4th official time that $4.40 has been tested on SPRU, and the 4th official time, at least so far, this candle's got 3 minutes, that it rejects that level. So I need to be alive to that. But I do like my chances here for a flat bottom, or sorry, flat top break, not flat bottom break. So continuing to watch. We got the ad, mind you, at 7s on LPTX. Let's see if this one can work up, hold the 10. Even if it loses the 10, the volume weighted average price for me is still south of $1 at 93. I'm looking at trading it through that level. We're going to pause for a second because there's news.
Yes, sir, guys, we do have some news here. My mic died there, but we're back and ready to go. Financial Times reporting that the EU is preparing a fresh investigation into Google with regards to its news publisher ranking. So again, EU apparently prepping a new investigation into GOOGL. Keep an eye on this name as we send you back to Joe and Sharif.
Joey.
Yeah.
Tell me you're broke without telling me you're broke.
What is up with these guys, man? They're just like, hey, let's try to get as much money from these
European companies. Like, do you want us to shake down Mercedes-Benz and BMW and all these? Like, why don't we shake them down? They shake down constantly North American companies.
Yeah. So let's shake them down, man. Let's get all those luxury cars, more tariffs on those boys, whatever it may be, luxury tax. Oh. Sharif, I'm in this name with you, SPRU, as it's rejecting that high and hasn't broke through that flat top just yet. Let's see if that's going to be a little bit more aggressive. I do like our chances for that bull flag is starting to form, but I don't like seeing that. We want to see the volume most definitely kick in on that one.
Absolutely, Joey. Well said. All right, guys, still watching. So, Joe, I don't think that you and I have been in the same trade.
No.
I don't know. Maybe ever or
no. We've been in the IPOs. Remember we were crushing
that's fair.
Some
well,
IPOs
we can kind of set the IPOs as an exception because that's just a bit of a specialty trade, Joey. But I love it. I love it.
Someone said the date is wrong somewhere. Someone says fix the date to November 12th. Where, brother?
Where's the date, brother?
Where do you see in the date?
Probably the title of the show.
Right.
Well, is that Ram's responsibility?
Rami.
Oh. Ram, did you make the thumbnail today? What do you mean, Neil? You see how much of a hard time she gives me. I'm not allowed to do anything? Oh my God. Everybody's on Ram's side constantly.
It's all right, Ram.
Even in the chat.
Oh, it's still.
All right, I think we got happening now, and then Neil's very coveted lesson of the day.
Let's talk about this market, which is certainly consolidating near lows. We actually broke into a new low of day as of the most recent 15-minute candle, but closing a little bit higher. So we'll have to wait and see if this bottom wick just below 618s can hold on the S&P 500. We've had quite a few pieces of commentary today from Fed speakers and even U.S. Treasury Secretary Bessent. None of this has really been related to the market or moving the market, but we're just going to start to get some more interesting Fed speakers over the next 30 minutes, starting with Fed's Bostic at 12:15. Now, Fed's Bostic, who has been very much on the more hawkish side as of late, actually just announced he's going to retire as of February 28th, 2026. So we're near the end of his tenure with the Fed. Then at 12:30 p.m., we will get, to contrast the hawkishness of Fed's Bostic, we will get easily the most dovish member of the Fed, Fed's Myron. So in the next 30 minutes, lots of Fed speak and watch. Of course, I'll be covering all of that for you guys. At 1 p.m., we will be having a White House press conference with Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt. So I'll cover that briefing for you guys. Earnings remain on watch without a doubt. Circle here on day one earnings. Actually, right at day's lows, despite a double beat and strong growth here. USDC in circulation up by 108% year over year. We have to talk here about Cisco as well, because they report after the bell. CSCO did give us a slight double beat last quarter, but guidance was a little bit mixed. Let's see what they end up turning out tonight, because, Neil and myself will be covering these earnings for you guys after the bell, 4:05 p.m. Don't be late, be there or be square. And we'll take a moment to thank our friends at Origenics, OGEN, because, guys, each year, 3.8 million concussions are reported in the U.S. But there's still no FDA-approved treatment. So the NYSE-listed Origenics OGEN is changing that with its first-in-class intranasal drug designed for rapid brain access. Because with the concussion treatment market projected to reach $8.9 billion in 2027, by 2027, Origenics is uniquely positioned to lead the way. Learn more. Schedule a meeting today. Back to Neil and his lesson of the day. Guys, you don't want to miss it.
Thanks, Dara. The lesson of the day is always be Team Ramin, because she's fantastic and just an incredibly kind person who's a wonderful member of our team. So, with that, that's your lesson of the day. I'm joking, man. Come on now. I didn't even put any dressing on this. By the way, the shepherd's pie was actually pretty good. I had to put some sriracha on it. It needed some help. It really did, but just a little bit of help. But the lesson I'm going to go with is actually something a little bit, it's kind of technical, but it has to do with these big-time runners. Like, you look at Rivian the last couple of days. We'll get to Open Door in a second, and then we'll talk about Archer. Somewhat three different. And I guess I was trying not to show it today, not to spoil it, but you guys can see down 8%. But you look at something like this. Big reversal, monster reversal, and then doesn't even try and dip, and then you just have a huge upward trend. So are you going to get continuation? Now, I thought it fell top heavy based on the daily chart. But here's the difference between something which continues to the south side without challenging that, breakout high, and then just an obvious like short area on that pattern. Like I would make the argument, it's a little, sometimes it can be trickier unless you really like these levels or get it on a false break at the bottom to get in, unless you're trading it back off of this level. As it doesn't give you that, third parabolic day up, fail of the high, or like the day 2 fail of the high, like here it tried to do so. Where you can find that might be something like an Archer, where this was more or less the setup that I was looking for on Rivian, where you have the big parabolic move up, you get the fail of the high, but it's the way that it fails the high here that matters. And when it breaks out the top, you actually have both a trend break, a VWAP break, but look when it breaks down. It's the continuation on the breakdown. When it breaks this prior low, there's no buyers. When it breaks this prior low, there's no buyers on the way back in. So all of these places where you would think to join, it gives you that continuation through. Now, obviously, this stock has done dip and rip before. I showed you Rivian that had done a dip and a rip. Well, what's the difference between a continuation play that looks like this same failed breakout setup? Here's the example, and it's Open Door, and credit to everyone that was yelling about Open Door, because Open Door does the same thing you just saw on Archer, where it fails the high, there's your fail at the top, there's your attempt to break the low, but what happens when it starts breaking down? When it loses VWAP, it does a bottoming tail candle at the pre-market low. When it puts in a lower high here, like right here, it's putting in a lower high. That could also be continuation, correct? After it loses VWAP, immediately after that, it gets bought back up again. What happens when it tries to take the high a little bit later? It bounces off VWAP one more time. The difference is that continuation. Now, some people do not like confirmation on setups because you risk losing, you risk being in the trade. And I get it. Here's what I will tell you about the patience of waiting for confirmation for something that's an all-day trend or a longer trend that you're looking for. Like Open or Rivian, Archer, the kinds of things that will trend in one direction if you get it right. It's not so much about whether you win more when you don't wait for confirmation. That's absolutely going to be true. You're going to be in the move earlier. You're not waiting for everyone else to join the move. I get that. It's the downside risk if you don't have confirmation, where you're trying to say, okay, well, I think it's going to do this without the buyers even stepping in or regaining control on any kind of a process. Like if I were to say, and I'm going to go back over to Archer for a second, let's say you were really, really convinced that Archer was going to be a long. But here's the thing. You are probably long here and getting a bad stop out. You are probably long here. And then again, getting a wide stop out, even though it's not giving you the confirmation. Now, obviously, if Archer makes this turn right here, even though it just broke trend, all of this looks bearish, if it makes that turn right there, you've got yourself a monster. You've got yourself 3% to the high of the day, and if it does half of what it did the day before, heck, the thing can go to $9.50 or $10. It's tremendous upside. No questions asked, but you're getting it without that confirmation, which carries a little bit more risk. If anything, I think those that say, well, that's breaking down, I want the confirmation at the short and then take that to the other side. Instead of long there, stop out there, you can be going short there and then stop out there. That's giving you more opportunity. So when we talk about confirmation in a chart setup, it's not always about trying to be first or trying to be too smart. It's about what trading actually is. And here's the truth about what trading actually is when it comes to momentum. Nobody is trying to be the money that moves the market. What you are trying to do is follow the money that moves the market. And that's a lot of times what those confirmation setups will tell you. Why get into a long if the sellers are regaining control? Why not get into a long when the sellers have lost control and the buyers are gaining control? And that's what you're really just looking for in a setup. The truth about it is sometimes it's going to get tricky and you're going to miss a few trades. But I always say I would rather miss a trade to be able to make the trade. And that just simply means if it's not there, then I'm not going to try to force it. And sometimes it's going to look like it's not there, and you're not going to be in the trade, and this is going to happen. I didn't force the issue on Apple today. Had I forced the issue on Apple, it would be my biggest stock. But had I forced the issue on Apple and it ran the low, then it would be a loss that's as big as my best winning trade this week. Instead, I don't want to lose more than I can make on a stock. I think I have 5 or 6 losers today trying to get these trend breaks. If I add all of them together, they equal my best trade yesterday. That's the pocket that I'm trying to be in. And so understand that everyone has a different style. If that's your style, then this is going to happen to you, and you've got to be able to suck it up, Buttercup. This is going to happen to me. And I don't know any traders that will be consistently positive where this isn't going to happen to you sometimes. Because if you're not looking for confirmation, then sometimes you're going to fly right into the face of a moving freight train and you're going to get run over. And then other times, if you just gritted it out, you would have had that bottom. I don't want to be smart enough that I'm the guy that's predicting the bottom and I have it before it actually, when did this really make that bottom? It wasn't when I was in, it was after I got in. It was here, like a minute after or 3 minutes after I got out. It was here, 30 minutes after I got out. That's when the buyers were in control, not when I decided to get in. If I try to force my bad entry into a winning trade, sure, this time it would have worked. But what happens if we break down, and let's just say I don't even stop out, which is crazy, or I just get a wider loss than expected, right? Like I'm usually trying to keep it in the pocket, and if you do wait for that confirmation and try to limit losses, you're gonna miss out on some big trades. There's no question about it. But in the long run, I think looking for confirmation will save you a bit of money. Think of it like this. Confirmation in a trade that the buyers or sellers are in control in the direction you want, it's just a safer way to practice. Kind of like making sure that the production team that makes you look and sound good in front of a camera and in front of a live audience is kept happy as well and respected. Because they hold a lot of power and they can make you look really bad, Sharif, if you choose to go against them. The market's exactly like that. Don't go against the big money. Team Ramin, all day, every day, kneel out.
I know you're just saying that to spite me, Neil. I know it. Oh, man, it's unfair. It's like, imagine like the person who just constantly commits the sins is the person who everybody reveres. I mean, like, that's crazy talk. But this is very good. Boom. LPTX halted to the upside, the tap showing 152. We are halted at 143. The time of the halt, 12:10:35. The earliest it will be open is 12:15:35. Keep it here for the top. I'll keep you guys updated. It's zagging, a little 151, a little 153. Doesn't matter. It's looking to open up. LPTX, guys, is now up 220, almost 227% on the day. Let's keep an eye out on this one. Your boy Joey Options as well is also looking at this, and more pleased I could not be about that. So, Roland Joe, Neil Roberts. All right, Jag, is Ramin the youngest? Yes, she is by far the youngest, yes. Mike P. DeRider, I'm stuck in it as well. Mike, that's not a bad thing, brother. You're not stuck, you're riding the trend. We are halted to the upside at 143. We're showing a tap of 151 now. You ain't stuck, Mike. Hopefully this trade ends up being good for both you and I. Hopefully, of course, because, you know, anything can happen while it is halted.
Sharif.
Yes, sir.
I'm in small cap world with you, brother. You see this SPRU, baby?
Boom,
SPRU.
Joey, boom.
Did you catch that too?
Of course I did, my guy. We got resting orders. There goes SPRU to the high side, Joseph. It is the small cap kind of day. Show what you're looking at, man.
The boy's a small capper now. Let's go. Never mind whether you got these tech names. I'm riding this boat with Sharif. Let's rock and roll, considering we couldn't get anything else going. There it is, another pop, an SPRU. Let's trim a little bit more because why not?
Joey, right? Small caps. Hey, it's
you said that one there.
I like that.
Was that big smile there? But
no,
LPTX, it was absolutely beautiful off of that low. But in all seriousness, I don't know why it's displaying it like that. Let's show you if we can get that cleared up a little bit. Just some missing data on, oh no, it doesn't want to, but you guys know what this engulfing print is over here. Bang, there it is. Add at that break. As soon as I seen this volume step in, I'm like, let's rock and roll and add a little bit. So even though it's not much, we're gonna dock it in as a big time mental win. And then LPTX is halted to the top side. Bang! Way to rock on that one, Shreve. Let's get this. Let's get this. This Halton SPRU. I might be a small cap trader after this, man.
I love it.
I'm gonna be rocking it.
We got a convert, baby.
Yeah, there it is. I'm switching sides.
I like it, man. I like it. Joey Low Float, says Jake Watson.
Exactly.
That's what I want to hear. Yeah, I like Joey Low Float. Yeah, that is a good one, yo. All right, we also got, Rare Seed. Nathan dropping the cash. 25 big ones.
Smackers.
VWAP have to end this game or things will get wild. Look, brother, shout out to you out or down in Houston, Texas. Hope you're having a fantastic week, but you're a great vibe. Shout out to Nathan, man. Thank you for the super chat, brother. All right, Rare Seed. Joey, this is all you here. Put 25K in Goog, not Google. 285 puts Joey at the all-time high. Thank you for everything. Genuinely, I love all of you. Boom. Right back at you, baby. Right back at you. We love you right back. And stick with us, man. We're doing it live, you know, every single day. And we're going to be looking at these bad boys. All right, guys, we are moments away now from LPTX to open, and it will be 12, 15, 35. So we have about 25 seconds. The tap is an eye-watering, Joey. $1.71.
No
we are halted
way.
at 143, 172 now. We're about 10 seconds away. I've got a resting order there that I don't think is accurate. Let's see if we can kind of get that. 4, 3, 2, 1. No, it's going to be a 10-minute halt. Why, bro? Why? Oh,
why?
So it's going to be a 10-minute halt, so we'll have to wait a little bit longer, of course. So then the earliest it will be open is 12:20:35. Now, I don't want to say this is going to be the case, but sometimes, not all the time, when we're halted for more prolonged periods, we may see the tap drop as people start panicking, you know, they want to get the hell out of there, so they start throwing market on open orders or limit on open orders, and we'll see what happens there. Let's take a look, though, Joey, at the other trade. SPRU, there it is again. We top wick this one in the 65s. The high of the day is 67. We still got a couple of beak wetters left on this monster. Let's see now, though, what happens at 40. $4.40. Why do I say that? What's my obsession with 40? Well, I had an obsession with it because it kept rejecting as a very key area of resistance basically the entire day. I mentioned it. 12:20, 5-minute candle reject. 10:50, 5-minute candle reject. 10:55, same thing. Again at 11:30, again at 11:40, and then back-to-back 11:50, 11:55, again at 12:05, and then the breakout came, and it came pretty aggressively. So let's see if that former area of resistance, that $4.40 area, wants to act as support now. Let's see, Joey. If it drops in there, I will be adding into that level. You know, we'll give it 10 pennies or so, maybe to 30, so that we don't get stop hunted. But that is what I'll be looking at SPRU when it does come back down into 40s. What do you got, Joe?
All right, brother. Yeah, no, sports and stocks. I would never lie, ever. Well, actually, that's not true, but I mean, a little what? I mean,
I like it.
I'm just being honest there because I don't want to lie about saying that I would never do that.
Right.
But no, but what I said to No Loon is no word of a lie. But and in all seriousness, nice move on LPTX. Nice move on LPTX, brother. I was looking at this at $1, and then sure enough, it just ripped higher. And then I'm like, you know what, Shreve, we're rocking and rolling in SPRU. I've seen that attempt at that initial break of the high, and we kept making these consistent higher lows. So I'm like, yeah, this is exactly what I want to see, regardless of what this price is here. Eliminate the price on the side, and I would still probably take that trade. So we like that. I'm going to continuously look at what Shreve's got going on in the day, because if they're working right now, they're probably going to work for the rest of the session. But there goes Bitcoin heading right back towards the low of the day. That's exactly what we want to see on that one. So, I mean, just small win after the other. Shout out to the new Leonardo DiCaprio movie, One Battle After Another, or whatever it's called. Go ahead.
Joey.
Yes.
And now, for some very exciting news out of Canada for the sophisticated traders on this stream. It's by Beta Pro and it's by Global X Canada, Canada's largest provider of leveraged, inverse, and inverse leveraged ETFs, and they've just launched, guys, 6 new triple leverage ETFs. They're offering you guys the 3 times bull, the 3 times bear exposure to many different things, including them S&P TSX 60, the semiconductors, and on U.S. Treasuries. And if you want even better, they're offering a special fee rebate by dropping the management fees down to just 65 basis points, all until, yes, New Year's Eve, December 31st of this year. Plus, the U.S. focus strategies use currency hedging, which offers the potential for pure performance and exposure. So if you're tactical and you're a sophisticated trader and you're looking to amplify your performance, you need to check out betapro.ca/3x daily to learn more. Shout out to the good folks at Beta Pro.
Brother, can I say something
Of course
here?
you can, bro.
Look at this daily on SPRU. Like, what? I looked at this.
Oh, that's the daily?
Yeah, I'm like, what the hell, Yonte?
Okay, we might have to punch into that. That's a monster.
Yeah, right at the highs. Yeah, let's
right?
get it.
Well, you could have said that
highs.
same thing. Look at the breakout in. No, on the left. Look at that.
Here.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, but that's disastrous. I'd feel more comfortable punching in at the break of this, so around like 328, and then you get on that big time move to the top side.
Fair.
So
Okay.
there it is. Come on, LPTX, open up so we can get a little bit of price action, Action Jackson over here, and then now we're gonna put in a new high. I should have hit that reload on this because this might be an all-day trender as we're up to 40. That's crazy in this small cap world. $4.65 is roughly the high of the day, and we like that one. Netflix is going, apparently says Trends Woodbridge. Okay, where are you from? Let's take a look at NFLX. When is the split? Is it the 14th or the 16th or something like along those lines?
We got 5 seconds for LPTX,
Boom,
guys.
there it goes.
Let's see.
New high there on SPRU, but Netflix going oppo.
Boom. Boom! We got the top wick fill, Joey. There it goes. So we got, what do we get? We got 69. You know where I'm going to be posting. All right, we're still holding here, Joey. What do we got on? We got 08. We just got 69. Let's let this ride. 73, 74. HOD right now is 79 on the dot. What a gap up. That was there. Let's see if the gap fills. So the halt level prior, keep this in mind, 143, okay? 143 was the halt level on LPTX. The reason I say that is I often perceive these intraday areas of support and resistance. Here we go. We're taking out highs, Joey. Wow. We're going to now go. We're going to wait at 195. We're going to look to front run that $2 area. Let's see if it works its way up at $2. This is a monster move. So anyway, what I was trying to say before this thing popped up was halt levels. Basically areas where stocks halted can sometimes act as intraday areas of support and resistance. So what you'll often see is when something halts, say at $1.50, then it opens at $1.75. So there's a 25-penny gap, right? What you'll see is sometimes quick price action that dips right back into that 150 area only to be immediately bought up and then goes along its merry way to the high side. So if that is going to be the case, it probably behooves you to know what the levels are so you can throw orders there to catch that money fill. Here we go again, Joey. It is now 185 high. Wow. We're going to halt here at 185 on LPTX. If we get a couple of more seconds like this, 3, 2, 1.
No, it doesn't show you. It doesn't show you. There it is.
We are halted again to the upside on LPTX. Wow. It is a 184 halt. The exact time 12:22:17. The earliest will be open 12:27:17. But as we saw last time, it was a 10-minute halt, so let's see what we get around this time, Joe.
All right, man, good stuff. Yeah, boom is right, says Farm Boy Trader. Come on, break down Bitcoin, man, just a little bit. But other than that, guys, I think there's going to be a good reload opportunity on SPRU. If it gives up $4.50, now I got to get used to saying these numbers at drastically lower prices, and we head into this area and we start to turn around. I'm going to add and maybe we'll put a little bit of shares on, but we'll see on that one. I'm kind of jealous of this LPTX trade because I was looking to get involved with with it, Sharif. And then boom, we're multiple halts to the top side. That's fun. I don't remember I don't think I've ever been stuck in a halt or anything like that. Nah, I don't think so. I'm just trying to think. Here, most definitely I haven't. And at home, I don't think I have either, to be honest, when I used to trade from there. So yeah, that would be a pretty cool. Or maybe I have, I just can't remember. Let's join NFLX. No, I honestly, I can't. The risk does not allow me to hop in.
Joey, can I interrupt?
Go ahead.
There's a rampage right now happening on QH, guys. This is taking out VWAP, and it is rocketing up. Joey, look at this, 144 print, 152. This looks quite aggressive. QH, it's up 71%. Be on the lookout, though. The reason I say that, take a gander at that 1105 candle, area high, right? Then look at the two subsequent candles behind it, 1115, 1120, lower high. Then take a look at this candle that we just popped off again, 144, another lower high. Be on the lookout for that. If we take out 148, that changes the trend. Then the lower high situation that we were involved in on QH may come to an end. Be on the lookout here for a 144, 145 rejection. I'd be looking for a 147 breakout trade. That's how I'd look at it. QH rocketing up. Welcome back, Katina, man.
We're in some QH here, baby. Let's
all right,
go.
I wish you all the best there, Joey. Get it, baby.
If we can get a break of that high. If not, we're going to hop out a little bit prematurely. There it goes on SPRU, Sharif, on that reload as we're heading towards the high of the day. Is this going to be the move? I'm sorry, Assassino. I'll get right to it, brother. We got a lot going on here, trading all these small caps, man. This is insane in the old membrane there. So I got so many tabs open. I got a lot going on here, but I promise you, I will get it done. And here it is. No.
Where did you find it?
All right, I'm ready. Let's rock and roll. For too long, trading meant risking your own money or never having enough to start. The fear of losing, that's what's keeping so many traders on the sideline. But that's changing. Trade the Pool is transforming how traders access the markets with its limited risk trading model. Traders use funded capital while Trade the Pool absorbs the downside. This allows traders to focus on truly what matters: discipline, consistency, and growth. When you hit the profit target, you keep 70% of it. And then no fear, no barriers, just real opportunity. This is the revolution of limited risk trading powered by Trade the Pool. Visit tradethepool.com or scan the QR code now to get 10% off.
Joey, I need to mention
Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Shout out to Grant Ratcliffe. Great call. Brother, you called this out earlier, but you know, things are crazy right now, so I was unable to get to it, but I did see it, and I love it. Look at CNBM rocket up here, baby. Breaking trend with the lower highs, and then you've got an unabated to the quarterback. Big green candle. Big green candle. What do you want, Ram? What's going on? Rivian? Hold on. You have CNBM? Why do you have CNBM?
Man.
Cambium Network Corporation, provider of wireless networking infrastructure. Ram, how'd you even see this? It's an $81 million market cap. Are you actually, you're messing with me, aren't you? She's long.
No, she's not lying. She's not lying.
Ram, it's almost at $3, girl. It's at $2.94. This thing's rocketing up right now. Ram's
Are you rich yet? Are you rich yet, Remy?
over here, bro.
How many you have? Ooh.
All right, Joey, did LPTX, anyway, CNBM is about to, it hit 299. That's a high of the day right now. Great call by Grant Ratcliffe. We're going to have to load up CNBM on a trading screen over here, but we need to quickly go back to LPTX because the halt, we're still involved in it. It should be opening up at 27.17. Let's see exactly what time it is. It is 26.52. So we're going to wait over here for about another 20 seconds or so. The top right now on LPTX, exactly where we halted. So this is neither higher nor lower. I have 95 order there waiting to get filled. The reason I put it at 95, I'm trying to front run the psychological resistance at 2. That's my thinking. We got 2 more seconds here if it's going to be 10. There it is. Joey, we're going to take it out there, and we caught it before it halted because it is going to halt down.
Wow.
Here it comes. 170 halt parameter showing up right now, so I got out on that one. We flattened out. Let's see if this one actually halts here, Joseph. We're going to need a few more seconds, and there's the gray out. It is now halted down, so I got out of that. Let's see if we can get some here. I want to say at 140. Remember we talked about that 143 area?
We did.
Because that 143 area is the previous area that it halted on the upside. So we talked about intraday support and resistance, sometimes overlapping with these halt bands. So let's see what happens there. LPTX halted to the downside, 170.
Oh, we got a coin right here. Is this a shekel? Or let's
I
see.
got shekels in my bag.
Yeah, we got. All right, let's see. Heads or tails? If we get SPRU to break this consolidation.
It didn't flip that much.
I didn't. That's all right, man. We're not worried about it. The coin only can tell you so much.
Oh.
Remember what Two-Face had, the double-sided coin, so you better have picked the right one. And the exact same from Buddy with No Country from Old Men. If you got it wrong, you know what was happening next. So we're not going to go down that road. But here it is, guys. Let's see if we can get this consolidation phase to hold up at $4.55 and then break through that $4.65 level. And then, I mean, in the best worlds, we get that halt up. But I mean, it's been on a monster run, guys. You got to take into consideration from what we got going on from a daily. If it continues to grind, I'm so new to this world that I have no idea how they usually tend to run. But if I'm looking at this from any form of a major tech stock or anything along those lines, I would suspect that, hey, things will eventually start to cool down. That's why at 40.50, we're going to just hop out of that trade. I'm still sitting in this QH, $1.35. I like the chances of it continuing. Just going by what we normally do, volume uptick, right? And then now this selling pressure is starting to be relatively cool. So our chances of the continuation in the trend, I like it. It's up substantially on the day here. At that high, you get 62%. What's it up now? 63%. So we're not going to complain whatsoever about that, Shreve.
Pathik wants me to look at Open Door. Let's take a quick look at Open. I'm obviously looking at executing here on CNBM, given the chart pattern and the strength on this one. It's at $3 exactly. That's the high of the day. I'd like to see this come back in to possibly 75 to 80. That's where I see price action support. Previously resistance. I also like the 71 penny area because that's the 10 EMA on the 5 at the moment. But let's take a quick look at Open Door. So this was really interesting yesterday. The volume at the open, I was expecting it to be more because Kaz Najatian said him and his family would be putting market on open orders to the tune of $1 million at the open. So I thought, you know, this one might have a good day, and it did, Joey. It had some higher highs there. Sorry, higher lows. It was a bit of an upward channel yesterday on Open Door. Not a bad look. Not a bad look at all. Today, it feels much of the same. In the sense that it feels more upward channel-ish than breakout-ish, or, you know, and the reason I say that is because, well, because you're able to connect these area highs and area lows quite easily, I should say. So it does feel like another upward channel. So if I had, you know, weapon in my head, Sharif, you have to trade Open Door, I'd be looking at the range trade first and foremost. If it ends up manifesting into a breakout trade, so be it. But right now, I'd like it off 860, 865. It does show me, though, at least on the 5-minute chart, Open Door that is, that it's got 4 candles with support at the 10 EMA. That's the good news for the longs. What's the bad news? It's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 candles with lower highs. So this could be a bull flag. We'll see if it ends up manifesting into one. But I would personally trade it as a range until it's not. And then, you know, I can make the decision from there, okay? So Open Door, I'm going to put it on my side chart here. Who's breaking down? BBAI is below VWAP, so we're going to flip from BBAI to Open, and we'll update the side chart as well so that we can keep a good eye here on Open Door. All right, CNBM, oh my goodness, this thing's going to take out $3. This is all gas right now on CNBM. I was waiting for a bigger dip. I don't know if we're going to get it, though. All right, we're right back at 99s. We're knocking the door of 3s. We're up 33%. The strength is there, guys. I just, I don't know how to enter this trade, okay? I don't enter the trade until between, I want to say, 85 to 70. That's my buy zone on CNBM. If it doesn't come in, I'll have to wait for it to get above 3 and then hold 3 for me to weasel in. And here is 3 again, Joe. There's not too much size posted on the gateway, but it's always, you know, with these small caps, what we can't see rather than what we can see that gets us into some trouble. I'm trying to infer, of course, the iceberg orders or hidden sellers, as we call them, on the small caps. So that's a look there. SPRU, we're still involved in that. We've got 17s. It's showing me 60s. Best print of the day, we've got 65s. And we've got another area of consolidation holding up at the $0.50. So, Joey, I got this one wrong. I was waiting for 40 penny retracement. What it ended up giving us was 50. Ooh. So We didn't get the reload on SPRU as a result of not having the right level. LPTX is open. It just dropped down into 50. It caught a bit of a buy. Let's see. Current candle high is 70. Let's see if it's able to get above 70. LPTX up 265%. A 20 penny range on the prior 1 minute candle. And we're basically in the middle right now, the median at 160, 50 low, 70 high on prior 1 minute. Let's see if it can get above 70. We'll give this one a good look. Joey, what do you got?
Excuse me, I was just in, oh, okay, yeah, nice little look there on LPTX. SPRU is still hovering around, forming this bull flag. I got out at the break of the support level at 455 when we said we would, and now it's just kind of grinding, but still forming some lower highs. So essentially what I did is I was looking for the break of this pivot here on QH, didn't get it, it started to sell aggressively, so we just hopped out of that one there, small potatoes, small potatoes. I would love to take a Netflix trade with you, but unfortunately the risk parameters do not allow me to do so. IBIT, what does that do? Is that thing curling off the lows? Yeah, I mean a lot of names are starting to curl over here, guys, so you got to take that into consideration. I'll just hop out of this IBIT trade momentarily. I don't have any shares on whatsoever, so I'm okay with that. But a nice curl over back in META off the bottom. Sometimes it's hard to have those V-shaped reversals, but if you're patient enough and or gave yourself multiple attempts, then sure enough, you're going to see a lot of indecision prints right at those lows that give you a nice level to play off of. And if you're playing the break of this candle to the high side, you're just risking the low of the day. You get that retracement, and then you establish a new higher low right there. And then sure enough, you're up $5, $6 from that specific level. So hopefully some people have the ability to take advantage of that and see what they got going on. I'm at a QH. I'm waiting for Sharif to give me that next small cap name that's going to be trading to the top side. So I'll be keeping my eyes on that. Once again, Ethereum taking it a little bit tougher, I believe, than what Bitcoin is up to here on the session. So continuous bleeding, but now starting to form that base. Same thing goes, guys. You might be able to base a trade off of the base of these names. So at the end of the day, pack your patience, give yourself those pristine opportunities, and sometimes it takes more than one attempt to get involved. Oh,
no question about it, Joey. Yeah, that's sound advice right there. Guys, I'm continuing to watch here, see LPTX. I want to get back in, but I don't like what I'm seeing right now. So we'll pack our patience. CNBM in. I mean, give me a break, dude. Like, I threw the order out at 85s. It bottoms out at 86s, and now it's moving back up into 3. And this current 5-minute bar has a higher low. And here we go again. It's moving into $3. So I'm trying to work into CNBM. I won't punch in at highs until it decisively takes out 3. If it doesn't, I'm going to be looking to my levels. As I mentioned, I'm looking from 85 to 75. That's the buy zone, if you want to call it that, there. And the reason I say that is because what it did with a previous area of resistance. You know, there was a bit of a resistance range, if we can call it that. I happen to really like how CNBM is trading, at least for the moment. Maybe that ends up biting me in the rear end. The reason I say that, though, number one, there hasn't been too much in the way of bamboozlement. We always know that that's a possibility with these small cap gappers. But in addition to that, it's got a 1 penny spread, despite the fact it's only done 5.9 million shares on the day. So it's trading quite, decently, if I could say that. CNBM, the one I'm talking about. Okay, we got another one over here. One, it's not novel. It's one that we mentioned earlier, QH. And this one tried to break trend. Remember we talked about watch out for the lower highs. This is what I was talking about over here. 1105 high, that's 152. Double top at 1115, 1120 into 46 or 47. That's another lower high. Then take a gander at what we did at 1220. Yet another lower high at 44. So what I meant was let the lower high trend break and then take the higher or the break of that lower high or higher. Yeah, lower high, excuse me. So what I'm seeing right now is, yes, it did reject and made yet another lower high, but most notably now coming into VWAP and looking like it might want to hold up here, something it didn't do, obviously, when it lost it at 1130. So if we get above 145, I think I'm a buyer here because that would break a lower high trend. Remember that 144? That's an area high. We drop back down to 27. We take out 44 vis-a-vis a 45 print. That gets me involved. So we'll see what we get. We won't get upset. Quickly back here to QH or CNBM. Sorry, I'm trying to look at CNBM. Yeah, we didn't get the ad there. We didn't get anything on CNBM. It's bull flagging with resistance at 3 and it looks like generally support at 85, Joey.
All right, cool, good stuff. I'm taking attempt number 2 on QH here to see if we can get involved. Once again, bounces off VWAP. I know what you're talking about, drop system. So this is our chance. I think if it is going to break through this high, this is going to be the move. We want to see that volume pick up. Now that I'm looking at it, not too good, but hey, anything can happen with some of these names. You get those buyers to step in, and then next thing you know, you're skyrocketing to the top side. But this is still holding up at $4.55. Who knows what's going to happen? We may get that bull flag type price action consolidation, and then that additional leg higher. But there you go. The overall market's starting to get a little bit of a bounce back here, guys. Let's take a look at the TQs and see what they're up to. There goes SPRU back up there. Wow, good stuff. But here it is, guys. Look how close VWAP is hugging price here. So let's take a look at some of the reactions on those 5-minute prints around this neck of the woods to see if we see anything. Hey, we're going to head a little bit lower, or we're not. So that's the game plan on that one. QH now printing a little bit here, Shreve, as it's climbing slightly higher. We like that break through that level at $1.45, and we're off to the races on this one, brother.
All right, man. Yeah, I'm watching that with you, Joey. QH is certainly of interest to me.
There we go.
Watch out for that 45 break now, Joey. We need that 45 break now. We got to get newer highs here. That's a great breakout. Good trade, Joe. Good
right
trade, Joe. All right, let's watch now QH. All gas, no break, 71% in Greensville. Far outdoing its sister there on the side, CNBM, which is only up 31%. So QH looking awfully strong, awfully volatile, a little above VWAP, a little bit below. We'll have to see which way this one ends up going. I'm still holding SPRU here. As Joey correctly mentioned, SPRU, in my humble submission, is putting in yet another bull pennant. And the reason I say pennant, not flag, is because we have higher lows and lower highs. So we have that compression pattern, that equilateral triangle to the side. Let's see if we can get a print above 67.
Just like that, it flushes right down.
Well, it's a volatile little, you know what.
Yeah, she's
CNBM, Joey, at $3. This is the high of the day here on CNBM. The seller trying to poop on everybody's party. There goes 3. It is now 303 high. There goes CNBM. Good look there. What's going on over there, Katina Man? The Katina Man is $2. AMD, hold on. You got out of the trade? Oh, you got back in. The Katina Man is back in that AMD trade. He had a 10-banger in the morning. Now he's got another 2-banger. So keep your eye out on the Katina Man's levels. He's often putting them in the chat. And if you want to see what he's trading anew when he's not on, he's often putting that in the chat as well. So you got to be in the chat in order to see the Katina Man's levels. Right? So that's another incentive there for everybody in the chat. Now, Joey, you know what we didn't do?
What's that?
We didn't tell everybody to vote.
Oh, yeah.
And I feel like I'm not doing my job over here.
I know what I'm voting for.
Let's see what we got over here. We got the big beared one. The big beared one is leading the way. It's got 141 votes. Open door with a healthy 125 in that hot garbage meta. Of which I'm substantially out of the money right now. 87, I don't care. 87 votes there. So guys, please get into the chat and vote for your favorite stocks every day. It is dealer's choice here. You want to vote for the SPY, big spile? You want a T triple Qs? You like the buried one? How about the Cybertruck? How about Ockel? You like nuclear energy? Throw it in there.
How about SPRU? Why do you guys put it to my T? Because I'm fiddling it. Go back there. This is my favorite, yeah. Look, see, I'm all about the English breakfast tea right there. Yeah,
I like English breakfast.
Yeah, it is.
I like Earl Grey as well.
Earl Grey.
Earl Grey is good. I like chai. There's a cinnamon chai. Have you ever tried that cinnamon chai?
No, I never had this. Man, there used to be a peach one in there that I used to.
Peach chai. Yeah, you're not going to catch me.
You don't like peach tea?
I like peaches.
Peaches, but you don't like the tea. You don't like it in tea form.
I can't say I don't like it, Joey, because I've never tried.
Oh, you never had it?
Yeah, I'm not going to lie to you.
There goes QH.
Boom.
What is this?
I don't like it when you're in my ear, Ram. No. Assassino, tell Assassino to come back.
Hold on.
Oh.
Dang, there goes.
Yes, because we know, Ram. We know. We're the production team.
Like, yeah,
Ram.
We should have posted. We reposted. No, we gotta repeat that.
She doesn't want me to say it. I'm not gonna say it. Yeah. I told you we live in fear of her, right?
Yeah.
She controls everything. She wants to put you in a bad, unflattering angle. She can do it.
Barks.
She wants to edit the video on TikTok or.
Oh, look at this thing starting to get more upgrades there, Sharif.
It's looking real good.
Google
Joey.
there, and then we got the options thing over there that that our guy Fabian put together.
OG Darwin.
Bang, Amazon, and TQs. Yeah, I mean, let's rock and roll there. Can we get a ha-ha? Absolutely. Ha-ha-ha. You don't have to ask me twice about that one.
Yeah, we still need to get Rizbot's laugh. Rizbot.
Shout out to Rizbot. But no, there it goes, guys. 145, it did break out. That might be the end of that trade, to be honest with you, considering how aggressive it is. It is selling. Boom, and there it is. Look at this tape here. Lots of blood red, so not too good for, I mean, it's in the streets already there on today's session, Sharif. So just keep an eye out on potential fades and the continuation in the weakness. But other than that, next time it heads up into 145, if we have the ability to even catch that level, we're going to piece it out, brother.
Shout out to Darwin. He's always making me chuckle, bro.
Darwin,
he's got the driest sense of humor. He's so sarcastic, but that's right down my alley. So shout out to the OG. Joey.
Sir.
We got into CNBM. Now we're starting off real small over here because we're punching in at an, we're punching in at not the greatest level. We have not cleared 3 decisively, and we have not triggered any of my orders at 85, 80, and 75. So I punched at 91. Okay. And I punched small because I want to get some more DCAs at more opportune levels. Let's see if they come in. 88 showing up again. Generally, we are getting an 85 area of support, but we are not printing my level because we are not crossing on the ask into 85. So we'll have to pack the patience and wait to see whether or not we get prints to the high side or whether we can get some dollar cost averages at some good prices there. Shout out to Hangry Wife. I know you've been a member for a long time, but thank you for joining. You're now a premium sub. And as a result, you can get my morning note every day. Obviously, I didn't do it today because I had the dentist in the morning, but I will do it bright and early tomorrow. And here is where you can get it. Let me allow to switch into the other account so I can show you guys exactly where. So you just show up to the home page for our YouTube. You click posts right there, super simple, mosey on down, and this is yesterday's right there with the very intelligent Dr. Lisa Su, and Katina Man probably, she's in his good books today because, well, AMD's up 8.69 and the Katina Man was printed on that AMD, but you click that read more, you click the link right there, Google Drive, and the morning note comes up. It comes with the following. You get 3 areas of technical support, 3 areas of technical resistance. You'll get the key event overview. You'll get more explanations as to why this is important, all the different segments, all the different parts of the story. And then at the end, you get the trader takeaway, an explanation as to what to look for, both from an intraday sense, a swing, and also for longer term investing. Make sure to get that if you're a premium sub every day. And it's only $4.99 a month to get that. We're going to Adara.
Yeah, I have to talk here about some comments made by Kevin Hassett, who is, of course, one of the senior, or he is the senior economic advisor here for the White House. He's also heavily considered to be one of the front runners for the Fed chair position. He is saying that the Fed is unlikely to cut by 50 basis points and that the inflation momentum is pretty directional. He said inflation, quote, isn't all the way where it needs to be, which is maybe one of the more, I would say, hawkish things that we've heard from this White House. But either way here, White House economic advisor Kevin Hassett saying that cutting rates makes sense, probably not going to do 50 basis point cuts. Inflation isn't in the right place necessarily. But I do have to talk about Fed's Myron, who is surprising no one by saying, quote, Fed policy is too restrictive. So as we get actually a little bit more neutral comments from Kevin Hassett, we have more intense comments coming from Myron, though Hassett also did just say that he does agree with Trump and that rates should be a bit lower. So again, Hassett talking, Myron talking at 1 p.m., so in around 14 minutes. We'll have Caroline Leavitt talking, who is, of course, the White House press secretary. We're also going to get a 10-year note auction. So lots to talk about here as we send you back to the guys.
From an intraday standpoint, Mopar for life. Shout out to you, brother. Thank you for that $5 super chat. Ron Miller.
You know what Mopar is, right? Isn't it the aftermarket brand for Chrysler? Like
I thought it was something car related.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Like it's like I think for Chrysler, Dodge, Plymouth, all that whole
honestly,
Jeep, maybe
I was thinking like they were tires or something like that.
It's everything.
But, yeah,
I think they may make tires as well.
Okay. Right
Dodge, Michael.
Dodge, Jeep, everything.
Chrysler.
Yeah. All right.
It's a genuine brand, not aftermarket says busted. My bad.
Okay, my bad. Yeah. We can't get it all right. NBIS. Do we think we bought them from an intraday standpoint? Possibly, right? You just want to keep an eye on the volume. You can see how it's relatively light. But if you continuously grind, just go with the flow, man. Especially if you have those indecision print on the lows, some potential stopping volume from a daily standpoint. I think it's really key to note where you are sitting. So how deep is this pullback going to be, considering you are heading towards a key specific support level and you've breached it now? So can you get a rebound? I don't know. Be patient on that one, but just go with the flow. If there is a bottom, market seems that it wants to recover. As AMD is starting to break 257 there, guys, heading towards some support levels. You can see that we had this trend line drawn out, so now it's just forming these consistent lower highs there.
Joey, look at this. Look at on SPRU. Look where I had my order. Look where that came in.
Oh,
that's frustrating. That's my mistake. I usually front run the sides, right? Like I'll 2-3 pennies. Because of this exact problem. I love the 40 level on SPRU. It comes right into 40. Well, 41, okay. 41, and I don't get the print. So that's no longer valid to me. So we're taking that off. That's frustrating. I had the right idea, poor execution. I should have been putting it in the mid 40s, 42, 43. What's 1 or 2 pennies? Why would I do that? So won't be doing that again. LPTX is gonna halt here. It's gonna halt to the upside again. 75s now showing up on LPTX. I just saw it on my side chart. Let's see if the halt perimeter triggers. We are now halted to the upside again on LPTX, and to the penny, Joseph. We are up 300%, 0.00. Halt time, 12:48:53. Earliest we will be open, 12:53:53. I like that, 12:53:53. That's the earliest open time for LPTX. Let's see what comes of it. Okay, I complained about SPRU not coming into my level. Here it is again. Let's get in a little bit over here. Do we get? We didn't get it. We didn't get it. It's not letting me. There we go. Now we got it. All right, so what's the move? You're going to give it to 40? The answer to that is no. That's just like putting my stop right below VWAP. I'm asking to get stop hunted. So I'm not doing that. I'm going to give it a little bit of room, but we are also going to put some profit takers in case we get a nice price spike up and it moseys on its way back to 467, which is the current high of day. We'll talk more about this when we get back from Adair.
We have to talk here about Kevin Hassett, who is, of course, the White House economic advisor, and actually he just addressed with regards to the Fed chair, like, would you take the position? He said if Trump asks him, he will take the Fed chair position. He does agree with Trump's that rates can be a lot lower. And he actually says that if he is on the Federal Reserve and if he leaves the Federal Reserve, he is more likely than Powell to cut rates. So Fed's Hassett, not Fed's Hassett, not yet. White House economic advisor here, Kevin Hassett, saying if he is Fed chair, that seems like he'll be pretty dovish here. So really interesting stuff from Kevin Hassett. Be aware, he still is speaking. Back to you.
Wait, what are you looking at?
Yeah, I got out of QH here as it's breaking down and potential double top here on the 5-minute, guys. So take that into consideration, in which I did. Now it's heading lower. Regardless of what it does, I think 45 was definitely the out on that, but we didn't catch that 10 cents onto that side. Small potatoes. We're not worried about it. What is Netflix been up to? I know a lot of people talking about that one, Sharif. NFLX. Is it continuing to grind higher? Yes, it is. Up 1.4% on the day. Wow. Is it the 14th that they split or the?
I don't know, bro.
2 weeks someday. Yeah, we'll figure that one out. I heard Neil just say it or something like that. November 17th. Okay, so this.
I know shareholders of record.
So Monday.
Like a different
okay, so next, so Monday. So that's going to be coming into play. I know a lot of hands. Just be careful, because I remember the last time that NVDA split, it was choppy for quite some days. A lot of exchanging, people locking in some profits. They're like, oh, why do I have so many shares now? So a lot of changing of the hands on that front. I'm going to be patient before I get involved in Netflix, but I think you have to at the end of the day, especially if it's going to be a $110 stock. I love it at that price without any question. And now the next one is, when is Netflix going to, Costco going to split? When is Facebook, which it never has ever, Meta, I don't know why I'm calling that. Meta has never split before. I think it needs to get to $1,000 before it does.
Yeah, well, I don't understand, man, like why he doesn't want to split. I get it doesn't make much of a difference. A lot of people can own fractional, but it does make a difference for employees who are doing defined contributions or, that are buying stocks. I don't know if they can get fractional from the company.
From the company?
Yeah, you can get fractional from your broker. We know that. That's not a secret anymore. I'd love to know this in the chat, guys.
Just round it up. Just round it.
No, but like from a technical sense, because I've never participated in, like, I've never worked at a public company, so I've never had shares given to me. Anybody in the chat, do you guys know If you work for a corporation and they allow you to buy shares, do they allow you to buy fractional shares? So say you want to contribute about $500 a month, that's your defined contribution to buy shares in the company. Do they allow you to buy like 10.3 shares? Or let me know, guys, if yes, they do.
Yes.
They do not, says Jason. Fraction allowed. So we're getting most people saying yes, some people saying no. Yes and yes, 2 New York cents. Okay, so mostly yeses here. Yes, they allow fractional. Great, good to know, man. No, then the others saying no as well. So I think we've got some different opinions there. We can ask what's it called?
Rusty Dutch.
Thank you very much, Rusty, for sending 5 Trader TV Live memberships to everybody. We appreciate you. That's very kind of you. And now the new premium members can get my morning note every morning. Make sure to check out the YouTube homepage for Trader TV. Just click that posts, and then it's all on the bottom there. It's released bright and early every morning, typically by like 8:10, 8:15 at the latest. So you'll have it for the morning bell, Joey. Couple of things. CNBM, we've worked our way into that. We've taken some profits there. Looking for another move back into 3. Let's see what we get. On that, separately, we did add into our SPRU trade at that 40 penny area. One quick beak wetter there. Nothing doing, though, because we really haven't rocketed back up. Things are starting to slow down again on the market. Not unusual as we get into 1 o'clock. So I didn't make my morning note, as I mentioned this morning, because I was at the dentist. But Adara, of course, prepares the watch list every morning. So we're going to be using that to go through the news. She's going to be leading that today. So Joseph and I are going to be commenting as Adara leads the segment. We'll start that in about 5 minutes.
Yeah, fire it up at any given moment, man. We're ready to rock and roll without any form of questioning. There goes the Nasdaq and company SPY as well too. TQ's rejecting the volume weighted average price, slowly starting to curl over. Watch out for this touch of this. But I mean, at this point today, guys, anything can happen. Maybe some sideways price action. There's nothing wrong with that. And I mean, yesterday was a little bit of a tougher session for the kid as well too. So again, things, you get hot some days, you get cool some other days, and it's just really, really important to just mitigate the downside and try to minimize what's going on. Again, if you're swing trading or anything along those lines, you have substantial. LPTX is still going.
It's at the high of the day, Joseph. It's going to halt here. Here we go.
Are you in it again?
No, bro. No. We're halted, Joseph, at $1.95. That is to the T. The high of the day. This one is on something right now. It's on that stuff. 345%, 45% higher than when we last reported to you, because we were halted at 300% on the dot. This one is awfully strong. It didn't even give up the 10 EMA. Even when it halted down, it didn't break down below it. So what a rocket ship this is. Keep your eye on that, guys. I'm going to keep my eye on it, certainly. We're taking prints here on CNBM. There's the other beak wetter into 93s. There's 94s now. I'm waiting next at 97s. Let's see if we can work our way up into 3. It's a 303 high, but I'll submit to you that the real level of resistance is that $3. No candle has closed above $3 on the day, at least on the 5-minute chart. We just got a quick wick into 303, and then it was a drop down into a key area of technical support, Joey. So definitely going to keep my eye out on this one. Looking for continuation here on CNBM, but we got to, let's give this one its roses, man. LPTX, yeah, we had a great trade on it, whatever, but we got to get back in because it's not done yet. It's done a little more, Joey, than 500 million shares. 541 million. I want to see how many times float rotation that is. LPTX, let's find out what the...
Keep rotating, man. We got Mike P. DeRider, who's in at 180, he said. 180. Caught in that
printed
halt
15
up.
pennies in the money, my guy. Get it, Mike. Joey, this is a 49.9 million share float. We've done 541.6 million shares.
One more time. How many?
49.9 million.
And we've done 500 million.
More. 541.6. Are you good at math? I'm not.
That's like 10 times, isn't it?
Yeah, just thereabouts. Yeah, thereabouts.
We're getting there. I mean, I'm not quick. Hopefully I'm right on that one. Joey maths, that's for sure, quick maths. No, in all seriousness, maybe SPRU can get rolling again, man. I'm small cap all day today, every day. Looking at CNBM as well, too. I don't know why I got Netflix up on the old screen ski, but we're still sitting in this IBIT short, again, small size. So I'm just going to let this ride. If we get any chance of a new low of the day, we're getting involved in this one. Whoever's been involved with Netflix on today's session, hold on now. Hold on. Wow, okay, let me see. If this is a genuine print, this is insane. Let's get over to the daily and see what we got going on.
On the flakes?
Yeah, on the flakes here, man. Netflix and chilling there. So there it goes, heading right towards that gap.
Oh.
Not too bad. This isn't something that I want to look out for, but you're starting to see the buying pressure step in, and then you get that nice curl over. If I could get my trusty tool over here, the one that works, and I know what I'm doing with it, it's the curve, Sharif, and there it is. Look at this curvature right here on NFLX. That's what you want to see, a nice smiley face and continuing to climb higher. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 green days in a row, and that's exactly what we want to see. Mike Peter Ryder, what's the tap on LPTX? Well, we're going to find out for you right now, even though you didn't even ask. I'm just going to let you know, just in case you were curious, $1.80. You're in at 85s, you said. So that sucks, but that's all right. You'll get it back there, brother, as it's starting to come in a little bit.
All right, man.
I want an espresso.
You're going to get an espresso?
I think so, yeah.
No, I saw you last time on the espresso.
I was geared up, eh?
Yeah,
it's
you got
bad,
the jitters.
Man.
Yes, he's super sensitive to caffeine. I'm kind of the opposite. You got to see the coffees that I make, man. They're deadly. I call them crack in a cup, baby. And the reason is...
Bro, one time I had 2 in a row, and I don't know what... I was literally on the couch like, oh, you messed up, brother. I was so messed up. I'm like, what is this stuff, man?
No, the thing is, so we have a coffee maker, obviously, a really good coffee maker back there, and you can control how much liquid you put. So what I do is I make 3 small coffees, each 120, the first 2 are 125, and then the other one I make 105, and I put the full blast.
You put it at maximum strength,
max strength, Joey. So we have like 3 technically cups of coffee, but with lower liquids.
Man.
So that, you know, we can get that.
My bro, but you don't feel any type of way after? You don't feel type of way?
Man, with the mustache you are growing, I'm not, man. I'm not. Stop making it. I'm fine.
What do you mean? You got the muscles are growing, maybe. Oh.
All right.
Whoa.
Yeah, we seshed pretty good this morning. Did kettlebell swings.
Bang.
Supersetted with kettlebell oblique crunches. Then went right into kettlebell Arnold's.
Yeah.
Have you ever done kettlebell Arnold's? So Arnold's,
yeah.
and then you're doing shoulder press, but you're rotating inward.
The Arnold's, okay.
Yeah, and then supersetted with kettlebell upright rows, so it's kind of an upper body, but we smashed lower body yesterday, so I was like, I'm not doing any more lower body.
Yeah, mans are rocking shoulders as soon as I get out of this joint.
Yeah, 100%. David, shout out to my man David. Dave's play O'Day, I like that. Palantir eyes, 180 test, 369. Dang, Hertz, you fine. HTZ he's talking about. Skeet, skeet. Quantum lovers, this guy, bro. This is fantastic. This is like one of the best written super chats ever. Shout out to David. David, how do I say your last name, brother? Are you able to just tag myself or Joseph and give us like a sound out of how to say it? Treziak? Treziak? I don't know how to say it. Just tag me, David, so we can kind of see that. And
you play hockey, David?
Why?
I don't know.
Is there an individual there that the same last name?
I don't know, man.
Treziak. Thank you. Treziak. Treziak. Shout out. Thank you.
Treziak. All right.
All right. It's 1 o'clock, Joey.
Okay, we're waiting for. Is Adara ready to rock and roll?
She's always ready, bro.
She's always ready.
All right, Adara, start us off.
So I'm just going to preface this with kind of a slow news day, let's be really honest. There are some earnings, and there is today's top story in the watch list, AMD. Other than that, it's a bit lighter. But we'll start off here with AMD Advanced Micro Devices. This thing made a not-so-micro move, and it had to do with their financial analyst data. I watched this whole thing. It was actually quite long. They had a cocktail reception afterwards, and they also had a fun little intermission at one point. So long story short, they said a lot. As you can imagine, for the length of that event, a lot was said. Lisa Su spoke first. It's, of course, the CEO of the company, Dr. Lisa Su. And a lot of projections were made by Lisa Su, as well as the company's CFO. They're saying that they expect revenue to grow by 35% per year over the next 3 to 5 years. They're attributing that growth to the, quote, insatiable AI chip demand. They also expect double-digit share of the AI or the data center AI chip industry over that same period, the next 3 to 5 years. So pretty much all of their projections were for that 3 to 5 year period. I do want to mention as well, one thing that they said that actually caused the stock to drop pretty sharply, at least it was initially said, was that when I say she, I mean Lisa Su, she now projects that total addressable market of AI to be well over $1 trillion in the coming years. So massive AI market, potentially that sparked some bubble concerns, but clearly the market got over it because we rallied at the close yesterday and to open today. It's worth noting as well, we did have the analyst Q&A portion of this event, and a lot of analysts seemed kind of skeptical or at least had some questions about these projections. But what do you guys think?
I don't know, Joey, how are you seeing this? Well, clearly there's no arguing with the price action today. That speaks volumes, and you know, the market really likes what they see. And this is the second time, might I add, that we've gotten, you know, okay, we're going to go back to it.
Sure, guys, we have to talk about BP, British Petroleum here. This one getting a kind of notable spike, as we do have a report with regards to their Castrol segment. Apparently, BP in active talks with Stonepeak with regards to the sale of their Castrol. So BP and Castrol sale talks, largest volume candle of the day, even larger than open for British Petroleum. Also, guys, we're just waiting for Caroline Levitt to take the podium. That is, of course, the White House press secretary. Back to you.
Thank you for that. Just allow me a sec to find my notes again. I don't know. There they are. I just have to make sure this appears.
I'm just going to say one thing. Like, I think the AI data center business will drive expansion with more than 80% annual growth. The street loves surprise at the end of the day. So come the earnings report, I think it's going to be really important to note. If you miss at this point, it's going to be absolutely disastrous. I don't think that's going to necessarily be the case. But if those numbers come in as projected, watch out for this stock to go absolutely insane because they love some forms of surprise.
Clearly. Yeah. I want to mention two things.
Yeah.
One, remember when we got their earnings report?
Yeah.
And it rocketed up. So any news catalyst that's, I want to say, more than mildly good for AMD, I'm going to be looking for aggressive price moves because that's 2 for 2 now where it's done that, where it had a really good, you know, kind of catalyst, whether it was earnings or whether it was the investor day. Yeah. And this thing has outsized days, 10%, high single digits. I'm looking for that from now on.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, like, high double digits with annual growth is insane. So if you fall into like the realm of somehow just like by surprise it comes in at triple digit, like 100%, which would, I don't know if that's necessarily going to be the case, but I'm going to be looking at this in the early days of what NVDA was like when they were bringing that triple digit growth in like insane, and then also the likes of Robinhood, in which we noticed it as well.
Absolutely, and that's actually like the perfect example. The other thing that I want to talk about is the difference between AMD and NVIDIA. Yeah. What we've heard multiple times is kind of very similar to what we heard about, you know, some buyers testing Intel's products. We tested it, it's all right, but it's not good enough to leave NVIDIA. Right? And that's what we've been.
But they got the full stack, though, NVIDIA.
They do. That's not the point. What I'm trying to get to is the MI series. I have no idea if they're good or not. I'm not a tech guy. Yeah. But what I can try to glean is what the tech guys are saying about it. And I don't hear the type of hype around AMD's accompanying software for their servers as I hear about CUDA. Okay. I don't even know what their software is called. This is something that we cover almost daily. So I'm a little hesitant to want to, you know, draw the conclusion immediately that the 90% some odd market share or the 80%, depending on who you listen to, that NVIDIA is dominating right now is going to be eaten into by AMD because it has to, because you can't have one company taking out so much market share. It's just not sustainable. Yeah. Right? Because they're going to eat into profits. But if we see that they're dropping an equivalent or as good of a product, I think this is going to be quite, there's going to be an equilibrium.
You're going to see that growth. You're going to see that growth come into the company for sure.
But we need to see it from the companies. They got to buy the MI400, right? The MI400 series. We need to see how it performs IRL. Yeah. And then we need to start seeing feedback. And obviously we see that through the stock price.
Exactly. And the reports as well too. I think the earnings report will depict a lot there as well. So yeah, I mean, AMD has been an absolute monster. It's crazy to think about this name is that, okay, for quite some time it was supposed to be NVDA and AMD, and then AMD fell off a complete cliff for a year and a half, Sharif, and then sure enough, from those April lows, it's been one of the best performing tech names in the market.
And you know what it's up year to date?
I don't even want to know. I don't even want to know.
You don't want to know?
130%.
You're pretty close, Joey. 112%.
Right, there you go.
That's a monster. Well, look, I'm not trying to compare it to NVIDIA, but NVIDIA's up 43%. And somebody said something quite interesting in the chat there, Los Polos Hermanos. AMD will double your money, not NVIDIA from here. Look, I don't know if you're accurate on that. Like, I see where you're going with that because I think that is, there's some wisdom to that. But, you know, It's just really going to depend on how they execute.
Yeah,
anyway.
I think execution is huge. I want to just give this individual a shout out before we go to the next story there. It's SJD News. I'm watching Joey and Sharif post-surgery. Love you guys. Thanks,
we
man.
love you right back, man. Get better soon, brother.
You woke up, so it seems like
soon,
it's pretty good, man. I mean, have you been under the knife before?
Have I been under the knife? No, bro.
No, I have one time.
For the knee?
Yeah, that's crazy stuff.
No, man,
yeah.
I never been under the knife, but I don't even want to say because I don't want to jinx it.
Yeah, let's leave it. Yeah, let's stop there.
All right, what do we got next, Adair?
Yeah, let's talk here about Circle CRCL. So revenue and EPS beats. So these numbers that I have here are slightly different than the ones in the watch list. The ones in the watch list are from, with regards to estimates anyway, the ones in the watch list are from Benzinga. These ones here, these estimates were from Earnings Whispers, just to address that slight discrepancy. Either way, they're pretty close, and we had a double beat regardless. The Circle reported revenue of just under $740 million, well above estimates of around $700 million. EPS reporting earnings of 64 cents per share. That's going to be well above estimates of 17 to 18 cents per share. USDC in circulation is now up 108% year over year at a hefty $73.7 billion. Net income up 202% year over year. Adjusted EBITDA up 78% year over year. Now their guidance, if people are wondering why this is down in the day, guidance might be somewhere to look. They did project larger revenue in their quote other revenue segment for fiscal 2025, initially guiding between 75 and 85 mil. Now they're guiding 90 to 100 mil, but their adjusted operating expenses guide for the year also increased here from 475 to 490 mil, now all the way up to 495 to $510 million. CRCL, thoughts?
Joey,
go ahead. Man. Yeah, I was gonna say you go ahead. I mean, Circle's been pretty good. I mean, I forget what it was, just the numbers in general of what have been transferred over and then are in U.S. Treasuries and bills now. It's something ridiculous amounts of money. I think it's just gonna take some time for this name to get rocking and rolling once again. You are headed towards some key support levels. Keep an eye out on that. But with the flows heading into actual government funds is insane.
Well, and you gotta love the post-IPO growth too.
Yeah.
Like a lot of money expended obviously in the IPO stage. To get to market, and then obviously you got to shore up costs a little bit, right? Because you're supposed to be growing when you're a private company. But net income, guys, $214 million, and that may not seem like a big number, but when you look at the percentage year-over-year increase, 202% bump on that take-home money, not that top-line number, right? I don't want to say it's easy to grow that top-line number. That would be a stupid thing to say. Obviously, it's very hard, but it's doubly as hard to grow that top-line number and to take more money home. So I do like that because there's so much money that you're expending in terms of growth that eats into your margins. That's just like business 101. So I happen to love that. I also love the fact, and you're going to love this, Joey, since you're a crypto guy. USDC in circulation now, how many billions? Take a gander.
Oh, it's in the hundreds of billions.
Well, no. Okay, it's 73.7 billion.
Okay,
it's still good.
It was pretty close. I was close.
That's 108% year-over-year increase. The amount of USDC in circulation, 108% year-over-year increase. Obviously, supported by the stablecoin legislation that we got, and obviously the current administration is very pro-crypto. So that's something that I definitely see. There was an eventuality of what was going to happen. Also, I'm looking at some of the report here. Expenses are rising in tandem with growth, but as I mentioned, that Q3 net income coming at $214 million. That's not that bad. I do like this, obviously. Yeah, that's really all I have to say about that, Adair.
Yeah, I mean, we can move on here. Let's take a look here at IBM. This one trading higher here, unveiling a new experimental quantum chip. This one's called Loon, and it does mark a step towards building practical quantum computers by the end of the decade. And this is actually going to be a design which integrates qubits and new quantum connections between them, which makes the chips more complex and also potentially more powerful and reliable. And I'm just going to embed the Microsoft story here because they're both quantum related, but we'll take a look here at MSFT. Obviously, this stock did not do well, but Microsoft had its own quantum story just a little bit farther down in the watch list. They announced plans to expand their quantum research operations near Copenhagen, third time's the charm there. So this expansion is going to actually include the build out of their second and largest global quantum lab to advance their development of their Majorana 1 chip. That is the quantum chip there for MSFT. So quantum, IBM, MSFT, thoughts?
Joey.
Go ahead. I'm looking for something, Sharif. There's numbers and how much actual USDC was in treasury bills and everything. I had an infographic of it, but I can't seem to find it there. So I was kind of distracted. Go ahead on what you
Yeah, I'm just looking at this Loon chip. Apparently, first processor design that demonstrates all the core components needed for what they're calling a fault-tolerant quantum computing. We know with quantum there is constantly the issues of faults, whether it's because it's not cold enough or whether because things are moving. These qubits are insane. So I've never heard of something called a fault-tolerant quantum computing, but I guess it's an eventuality that the designers are having to deal with. Apparently, it's a key milestone and it's scalable for quantum calculations. It integrates as well advanced error correction, partly inspired by cell phone signal processing. Talk about like mixing multiple things together. What else is this? 120. So the actual buildup of the computer, 120 qubits linked by 218 next-gen tunnable couplers. Oh my God. Okay, I just got to stop reading this because that's just way outside my pay scale, guys. But look, quantum is fantastic. But as we saw with Rigetti's earnings yesterday, a $10 billion market cap, bringing in about 1.18, if my memory serves me correct, $1 million of revenue on the year. Give them a best case scenario. Say they print $2 million next quarter. That's about $8 million in running revenue or run rate for your revenue per year at a $10 billion valuation. I get the technology is super nascent, Joey, but at some point, do you think that the hype for quantum dies down and these market caps come back to earth, especially if we don't get a breakthrough sooner rather than later?
That's a great question. I think it can go either way, right? Just as you mentioned, it's either you get that breakthrough or you don't. And if they don't live up to, obviously, the standards in which we're putting these valuations up, then sure enough, you're going to see an aggressive pullback. But as technology advances throughout our time, I think it's a good trade to front run at the end of the day. I mean, IBM has been fantastic. Look at this from July of 24. It's just steady up and to the right. We like that. But as for all of these other names we know with the IonQs, the QUBTs, the QBTS, it's either you're going to hit or it's going to completely miss and it's not going to be able to live up to those expectations. I'm going to go with it's going to be able to because humans are smart and we're constantly evolving. So,
all right, Adair.
Let's move on to Coinbase. There are a few different stories actually for Coinbase, but we'll just start with the one that is on the watch list. So JPMorgan Chase is now going to be rolling out its JPM coin deposit token. That's going to be specifically for institutional clients, and this is going to actually enable dollar-based transfers on the Base blockchain from our friends at Coinbase or COIN. That comes after months of trials using MasterCard and others. Basically, the bank, JPMorgan, has also trademarked JPME, and that's for a potential euro-dominated version of this coin. So that signals that JPMorgan wants to continue to move into this digital asset space. Now, it is worth noting this partnership between JPM and Coinbase was already announced, but this is when we actually start to get the rollout. So partnership is not new, actual rollout is. Now, as I mentioned, two other stories to talk about, and I'm going to talk about them both pretty briefly here. One of them is the BVNK acquisition. We know that Coinbase is supposed to make a $2 billion deal with them. Reportedly, that deal has been called off. Second catalyst, or sorry, I guess now third catalyst here with COIN. We did have this morning CEO Brian Armstrong apparently saying that, hey, we want to reincorporate in Texas and leave Delaware. So I guess this Delaware exodus we've been hearing about from some businesses looks like Coinbase wants to hop on that train. Thoughts?
I like this. This is really interesting here. So here's what I have to say about it. So institutional clients, you can settle in the US dollar nearly instantly, and it's 24/7. Leverages, as Adira mentioned, Coinbase's base blockchain platform, but unlike your regular stable coins, it's a regulated digital claim on real bank deposits, meaning that it can be interest bearing. So sometimes they'll take that same money and they'll invest in shorter dated treasuries and they'll throw that yield back to you. You got to like that, especially because it's, well, that's part of the stablecoin legislation is that all these stablecoins had to be backed by liquid assets, mostly, of course, either cash or US treasuries. Months of successful trials with partners. They're also dealing with MasterCard, apparently, and they're really looking for speed and compliance. It's going to be trading under JPME, apparently. That's the euro version, says Adara. JPM coin will also be accepted as collateral on Coinbase. Let's see what else is saying over here. It looks like Citigroup, Bank, Santander, Deutsche Bank, HSBC, all exploring that same thing. So nice by JPM to kind of jump the gun and get ahead of those bad boys. Regulatory framework, as we already talked about, treating these tokenized deposits as traditional deposits and avoiding some of the stricter scrutinies that come with stablecoins. So not a bad look here, Joey. It looks like it's circumventing the stablecoin legislation, though, because look what it says. U.S. regulatory frameworks currently treat tokenized deposit coins as traditional deposits, thus avoiding some of the stricter scrutiny applied to stablecoins. So by definition, doesn't that kind of circumvent the stablecoin legislation that we got not that long ago?
With the Clarity and the Genius Act and everything. I think this is the start of it all, Sharif, to be honest with you. We know where Jamie Dimon stood at for quite some time in just regards to crypto and Bitcoin, most definitely. But I think this move into, obviously, now they're going to be saving on transaction fees. You get the quicker settlement data, Sharif mentioned. And look what this stock was doing on today's price action. Insane, insane, insane. We know, hey, it's a love and hate relationship with Tom Lee, but he was talking about some of these bank names, most definitely JP Morgan, heading into those growth cycles where they can double and just go through this insane revenue growth. I think that's going to be the case, because if they become more efficient, watch out for names like JPM, who just gapped up and now trading at $320. I think this is the start of something big for these stable coins.
Let's talk about OKLO. So OKLO, they had earnings. This was their preview from what we were kind of expecting from them. And again, as always, these infographics are an X to DTV research. What they did post here was a 12-cent per share loss. They posted a 20-cent per share loss. We were expecting a 12-cent per share loss, or 13, as you can see. So larger than expected loss per share for OKLO. But let's talk about the bigger thing here, because with companies like Oklo, as Sharif was kind of mentioning, for like the Rigettis of the world, these are not super going to be known for what they do with regards to like actual numbers. It's going to be, what is the science? What are we trying to achieve as of this point in the company? So OKLO actually announcing, to that end, during their earnings report, they announced this expansion of their collaboration with the operator of the Idaho National Laboratory. So this expanded deal is going to be R&D, or research and development focused, specifically with regards to advanced nuclear and materials. Do you think Oklo did okay, guys?
Oklo,
I got some stuff if you want.
All right, go ahead.
Should I start?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So as Adara mentioned, they lost about 20 pennies per share, 53% wider than analysts were expecting. The company's trying to justify it, saying, look, in order to get all this stuff ready, we had to increase our R&D spend as well as administrative spending, of course, having to bring on new staff for that advanced nuclear push. They also announced an expanded R&D partnership with the operator of Idaho National Laboratory. Obviously, because they're still losing money, they're pre-revenue aiming for first commercial power by 2027. So that's not too much of a runway, Joey, especially for nuclear, which we know is super slow. Despite the negative earnings, they apparently finished with robust liquidity. Joey, they got $1.18 billion on the books, and that's not because they're making money. It's because of an at-the-money stock issuance, which generated $526 million at one and $400 million earlier in the year in 2025. So they got some cash and they're going to need it, brother, because, you know, that stuff's not cheap.
No, apparently not, man. I mean, as for this is the new wave, right? And you just want to go with the flow and what we're experiencing here. Nuclear energy is going to be absolutely massive. I understand the fact that it's like, hey, yeah, that's not a fun ride to necessarily go on, especially when you trade all the way up to $192 there, Sharif, and then you're down approximately 50% from that level, a little bit less, 80%, or sorry, 40%, we'll call it if we can get this going for us, 42 to be exact. So as for Oklo, it's the same thing here with the quantum names, right? Like, you go on these monster runs, you have the fad, the whole space is in vogue and most definitely trending, but eventually when you go on these parabolic moves, like, you got to take into consideration from those April lows, you're at $19, you're up 886%. Unfortunately, you can't just continue on that trajectory and you're going to experience a pretty deep pullback, in which I just mentioned is 42%. So keep an eye on it. I think this trend is going to continue. I like Oklo in the nuclear space.
All right, Adara, how's Alphabet look like?
We kind of transition now into the stories of the day. We'll start here with GOOGL. Now, Google, as we mentioned, actually intraday did have a catalyst with regards to the EU reportedly considering another investigation into this company, specifically with regards to its news rankings, but that wasn't on the watch list because it happened intraday. So the story on the watch list is Google collaborating here with Turkcell of, you guessed it, Turkey, to help build Turkey's first hyperscale data center. This is going to be a massive cloud infrastructure expansion within the region of Turkey, and this plan actually includes activating at least 3 network clusters by 2029. Now, in addition to this Turkcell news, Google having some issues at home in the US of A. They're being sued in Cali for allegedly activating their Gemini AI across Gmail, chat, and Meet, but users did not consent to this alleged use of Gemini here. So this lawsuit claiming that Gemini accessed all the attachments, that would be, if true, a violation of California's privacy laws.
So here's what my immediate thought is. So we always hear about sovereign AI. Have you been hearing a lot about this?
Sovereign, yeah.
Yeah, because look, companies now, like your Googles, your Meta, Amazons, everybody, they all got their own data centers clearly, right? That's not the problem. The problem is government's got to throw their hat into that ring as well. So now you're talking about governments building out their own data centers and having, you know, that kind of scalability that they can offer to their population. There's just there's so many different things I'm assuming that these governments can do to create efficiencies and reduce internal costs. Because government spending is runaway. Wherever you look at it, North America, Europe.
Do you think they care about?
They better care because we pay for all that, right? So the taxes for me, I mean, imagine being a jurisdiction that's lowering taxes because of efficiencies in AI.
Yeah.
How much capital would that jurisdiction, have flow to it? Money follows the path of least resistance.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So I want to see whether or not all this capital spending by sovereigns on AI ends up leading into some sort of efficiencies that can be passed to the population. I sound like, maybe
that's a little
way too naive here.
No, I don't think so, but I think it's a little wishful thinking because they'll just find it, right? Like, because they'll just find another place to spend it at the end of the day.
Yeah, that's actually not a bad point.
You know what I mean? They'll just find another. They'll do it. It'll be again. A lot of the taxpayers aren't going to agree. So if they are going to be efficient, then most definitely we're not going to hear about that whatsoever. But it's just another probe into Google. Do you think Donald Trump would ever intervene and just be like, "Hey, what are you guys doing? Stop putting these probes into some of our big names, or we're going to slap a tariff or something on you"?
Yeah, you know what? Turkey. I don't want to throw Turkey. Well, Turkey's not part of the EU, right? So I don't want to blame Turkey for all the investigations by our friends in Europe on American companies. So, but I do feel the contentious relationship between Turkey and North America and United States generally is there. Because Turkey always has to play that middle ground. They're in between East and West. They got to please the people in the East and please the people on the West. And they sometimes use that to their advantage. And Erdogan, Tayyip Erdogan is kind of a master at doing that. But we're kind of digressing.
Well, it's because all the North Americans go over there.
What else we got? Let's cover this class action lawsuit that Adara was mentioning in California. Separately, Google faces a class action lawsuit in Cali, accused of secretly activating Gemini across Gmail, chat, and Meet in October 25 without explicit consent. I'm fighting. The complaint alleges Gemini scanned and collected private emails, attachments, and messages violating the California Invasion of Privacy Act, which mandates explicit consent before recording or monitoring confidential communications. The plaintiffs here, Joey, are claiming that Goggles previously offered Gemini as an opt-in assistant, later switching it to default activation and obscuring the opt-out options when privacy settings, later raising major user autonomy and transparency issues. I got to digress because I'm going to take out my position here on CNBM, Joey. This one blowing through 3. We initially got in at 84, so good trade here on CNBM as that decimates the $3 level into the high of the day. We're going to have to pause for a second before we get your opinion. Adira's got news.
To let you guys know, Caroline Leavitt, White House press secretary, is beginning the press conference. I normally would not interrupt with this, but I have to because apparently she's brought along with her Kash Patel, who's the director of the FBI, specifically to address, for some reason, China and U.S. trade concerns. So again here, China trade talks happening here with Kash Patel, saying that President Donald J. Trump has great news. As I get more details, I'll let you know, but it is worth noting China trade talks being discussed right now by the leader of the FBI and Caroline Leavitt.
So let's keep going over here. I just want to finish this story because this is some BS over here, Joey. Legal experts warn this case may set a precedent for integration of AI into mainstream communication platforms and could prompt tighter rules on consent, transparency, and corporate accountability in how tech firms deploy AI within user data environments. This is giving me shades of, you know, Meta and Google, obviously, in how they collected data to sell it to advertisers. Yeah, this is kind of the same thing, but with an AI twist.
Yeah, and no, I get that point, Sharif, but at what point, considering that, are you going to be looking at it in this aspect is we're in this AI race. Do you think that the Chinese care that if their large LLM is collecting emails and everything? So are we going to fall into the realm of over-regulation? I don't know. Obviously, you don't want your email going out to things that you don't want, but the Chinese don't care about that. They're going to probably collect it at the end of the day regardless of what happens.
And that video I showed you yesterday of Palmer Luckey talking about Fury. Fury is his unmanned plane. It's supposed to fly with fighters. You guys can Google it. Obviously, Anduril is the company I'm talking about. And what did he say, Joey?
What did
he say in that video yesterday? He's like, they, meaning the Chinese, are working in a much more supportive environment where they can get, you know, financial support, infrastructure support, and the regulator is willing to look the other way on many different things that we won't look the other way on here.
Slip a little something over there.
I don't know if it's that or they just want to, you know, advance.
Most definitely like, all right, here we go, turn a blind eye to it.
All right. Okay, how's Broadcom looking, Adara?
Broadcom is so rangy. It's like the rangiest looking chart, but I mean, we can talk about the news here. AVGO trading marginally higher, at least pre-market. Again, right now, super range bound, unveiling an open and extensible ecosystem for their VMware Cloud Foundation. Now, in case you guys were not aware, they did acquire VMware a little while back. And apparently the goal of this announcement here is to aim or help customers build and manage private clouds across a variety of infrastructures. The initiative is going to be helping expand hardware and in networking interoperability through programs like these AI ready notes and open network standards. They're also have partners like SMCI, which are going to help them with the rollout. Not too much here, Joe. I'll be honest. A lot of this rest of this watch list is going to be kind of like this.
Sure, no, we'll take a look at some of the technicals here, Adara. As you mentioned, extremely range-bound, but we can't deny what's been going on from a daily standpoint in this name. It's been absolutely phenomenal. I mean, you're almost doubling up right here, more than that. So 151% from those April lows in which we're going to currently gauge, because that's our Liberation Day. And when Donald Trump told us to buy, you're up 151%, and I don't see this slowing down anytime soon. I mean, we were in talks of like, hey, look at the ground that Broadcom has gained in this race, in this chip race and everything along those lines compared to what AMD was up to. I like Broadcom a lot, considering it's up 150%, Adara.
Let's move on here to ON. So that's on. And I think certainly if you were along this morning, you were on in terms of being in the money. Terrible pun. I do apologize. Take a look here at this daily chart where we gapped up and then kind of sold off a little bit. So ON, let's talk about these earnings. They did report adjusted earnings at 54 cents a share, sales of 993.036 million, healthily beating estimates of 20 cents per share. So again, 54 cents versus 20 cents. Sales just over 993 million versus estimates of 939 million. Now, they guided fiscal 2025 sales of 3.725 billion. That does beat estimates of 3.64 billion. And then, Joe, they made an announcement that I find to be a little interesting as somebody who used to work retail, and I want to know your thoughts on this as well, just as a human being. ON is now saying that they're not going to do apparently Black Friday sales. Thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, that's really key. No Black Friday sales, Adara. I think we know what that means, right? So they're not going to have that margin compression because when you do have those sales, that's obviously going to hinder it. So I think that's a good positive play. We've seen it in the likes of American Eagle when they were putting on their sales. They weren't having those aggressive sales, as I just mentioned. It was more along the lines like 5% off, 10% off max, not cutting those prices in half, which drastically affect margins. So I think this might be a strategic play from on. No Black Friday sales, no margin compression whatsoever. It might be a good play or a bad play. I think it's going to really determine how sales come in.
All right, man. All I know about this company is my mom loves the shoes.
A lot of people love them, man.
Yeah, she likes that and Hoka.
Hoka.
Is that how you say it, Hoka?
I think I know which one you're talking about. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, obviously my
it's like the red symbol or whatever it is, right?
I don't know, brother. I don't know if it's red or not. Hoka. Is that how? Yeah, it's these ones.
Oh, okay. I thought what's the symbol look like there? They okay,
no, they're all the
black.
different colors.
Okay, so
Yeah.
different.
She loves these, man. She swears up and down by these things. But now, with respect to On, I'm just looking here through the note. Sales growth accelerated versus previous quarter, suggesting stronger than expected market share or product adoption. We kind of know that. You know, Brendo is the one that tells me about these because he's the runner. I don't really know too much about them. So when I hear from him about how good they are, and my mom Dukes as well, that's kind of my information. Anecdotally, of course, earnings and sales beats were cited as key reasons for the stock gapping up, of course, highlighting the market sentiment. What else we got here? Full year 2025 sales guidance was raised 3.725 billion, outpacing consensus. Management is confident in continued demand or recovery in its main market. So there's not much bad to say. What's the ticker for this? Is it ON?
ON.
It's just ON. Okay, let's take a quick look, Joey, at some of the TA on this monster.
But I want to bring something while you pull up the charts there. Adara said, so they're not going to be doing any Black Friday, right?
I heard
so
that,
remember the example in which American Eagle said, hey, when they're doing their discounts, it's not anything like 30 or 40%. It's more or less 5%, 7.5%, right? Which
is on the margins.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then within this name, so you see a rapid growth within margins. Let's see, let's find those numbers. 65.7% increase, and that's 510 basis points year over year. So maybe that's going to help with the margin, no margin compression, expansion per se.
Joe, you're about to get very excited once I point out these technicals.
Let's see what we got going on.
Take a look at this. I want you to look over here.
I'm looking.
$35 resistance.
Yeah.
$35 resistance.
Yeah.
Clear it. $35 support. $35 support.
Yeah.
You see where I'm going? What am I going to say? $35 support. This is clean.
See, my issue is here though is that like with fashion, it's you're hot one day and the next day no one's wearing you, with the exception of Nike.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
But look what we've seen with the stock price in Nike. Like again, it was probably the most popular brand on the planet, if not still the most popular brand on the planet. So if a name like Nike starts to underperform, what does it say for the lesser version?
That's the thing.
Right?
And that's the thing. Let's ask ourselves, and I don't have the data to support it. Are people buying less athleisure wear or athletic wear?
No,
they're going to say no.
Yeah.
So then, if Nike's declining, Joey, but people are buying the same or more athleisure, isn't it just funneling into something else?
If same or more, possibly. But if you're funneling into something else, then I think at some point you're going to see it funnel out of specific names, right? Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, I see your point.
I remember somebody said Lululemon's going to be a nobody in 10 years. Again, that may be a hot take, but I would not be surprised if that was the case.
Yeah, no.
I would not be surprised,
right now, bro. They're hurting right now.
Like it's with a lot of the names. Like Adidas was extremely hot. Remember New Balance used to be really hot. I believe in the early 90s.
Yeah, for sure.
Fell off a cliff for essentially 10, 20 years or whatever it may be. Yeah. And the only time I seen New Balance really start to catch more ground was names like Kawhi Leonard coming back to Toronto, who was sponsored by New Balance. Other than that, if you're nobody, like Gymshark is really, really popular. They don't have any brick or mortar stores or anything along.
Why they maintain margins.
That's why. Yeah. But I would not be surprised if one day they fall off a cliff and you get somebody else to come into play.
No, your point of being a fashion, like fashion brands being cyclical, very well 100%. Taken. I gotta agree with you on that. Let's see how it all does there. All right, Adara, what's the next one?
Okay, so we're going to combine two stories here because they're about the same thing. Bill Holdings and Clearwater Analytics Holdings. This is BILL. This one here, Reuters reporting that the company is apparently considering a potential sale. They're facing some pressure from an activist investor by the name of Starboard Value. You've likely heard of them because they come up a lot in these activist investor talks. So Starboard holds an 8.5% stake in Bill Holdings, and they want some board changes here with BILL. So Bill, apparently working with some advisors, does believe that their shares are undervalued. The decisions are still in the early stages. There's no assurance of a deal. And then in case you guys are thinking, well, you know, Clearwater, guessing that's probably similar story to Bill. You got it, guys. It is the exact same type of story, but this time it's Bloomberg reporting that Clearwater is considering a sale. Now, instead of facing activist pressure, they've actually received some takeover interest. They've already hired, much like Bill, some advisors to evaluate their strategic options. So BILL, CWAN.
You pretty much covered most of it there. Yeah, this is interesting. So 8.5%, that's enough to start moving the needle and start pushing for board changes. Apparently, I don't know if Adair mentioned this because I couldn't hear everything. They've nominated 4 new board directors. They want operational strategic shifts. We know, of course, Starboard has a history of engaging with targets to improve margins and governance. The company obviously is looking to defend itself, working with advisors, thinks that its shares are undervalued, which could suggest a sale or other strategic alternatives. Yeah, I don't know, Joey. It looks like it's in the early stages. I don't have too much to say about this. Not even a company I really know too much about, to be quite honest with you.
I'm going to fall in that realm as well, too. But we could just take a look at some of the technicals on Clearwater and on Bill as well. BILL, you can see you get this massive gap down. You haven't even quite got close to that level. That's going to be at $67. You want to take a look from what we're experiencing from those highs. You're literally down 50% roughly from those levels. We'll call it 101. You're trading around 40, 51, 52 bucks. So a breach of this gap, you're down 50% off of those highs.
It's as for
Clearwater,
it's ridiculously hot in here, man. Can we open the door or something?
Yeah.
Like, it's ridiculous.
So there it is, a nice downtrend right here, still fully intact, even though you do get the gap up in this. Nice, strong. You want this candle to hold. If it doesn't, then steer clear of that. But I like our chances in Clearwater Analytics holding for the continuation. I'll keep my eye on that, considering you have that aggressive downtrend break and including a gap up there.
Yeah, let's take a look here at USAR. USAR acquiring a company with possibly one of the most fun names I've ever seen. USAR, of course, USA Rare Earths, acquiring a company called Less Common Metals. So rare earth and less common. I thought that was pretty fun. Now, apparently the UK has said, okay, you guys can acquire less common metals. So this acquisition has been given the all clear by the UK regulator. Deal is likely to close by the end of the year, so that only gives them about a month and a half. But this merger, once completed, is going to be establishing a fully integrated rare earth supply chain, which will support USAR's magnet manufacturing plant in Stillwater, Oklahoma. Roughly 9.2% short float. So USAR plus less common metals. We like?
I really like this, obviously. This is really interesting here. I didn't know that there was the difference between mine to magnet and magnet to magnet. So interesting look there. But this looks like it's going to be a sick pickup, LCM. Significant player apparently in rare earth metals and alloys. Essential materials used in advanced magnets. We know MP's in there, triple U or quadruple U. So many different spaces, whether you're talking about semiconductors, you're talking about aerospace, defensive, automotive, electrical technology, everything. And we also know, Joey, let's just cut the crap, okay? China dominates 80, 90%, whatever you're referring to, whether it's the extraction or the refining. I think they dominate more of the refining. What I want to see, though, is apparently, here's the deal. All these rare earths are very, very, they're widely available, just in smaller concentrations. It's rare when they're in higher concentration. That's where the mines are. Yeah. So one, you could make the deduction that you can just mine more and then you can collect more of this stuff. It's the refining thing the refining part of things where we're super weak, where China continues to dominate. And the reason is it's not environmentally friendly, bro. Refining these metals. It's not at all. You use so many chemicals that are harsh to the environment. And the United States and the West in general decided in the 70s and 80s that they didn't want to do this, and it was not for them, and they let China completely take it over. Now we've come full circle, and we said, well, yeah, we didn't have to work in that, messy environmental sector, but now China's dominating everything. So I guess we're going to have to, get our hands dirty again.
I think that's just, again, we're going back to just the regulatory tightening. Like, China is more loose on that compared to what we have in the Western world, right? I don't know if you've ever seen, have you ever seen, like, videos of, like, the marble mines in Italy and stuff like that? What it does, how detrimental it is to the actual earth and everything. Oh, brother, these things are, like, literally skyscrapers deep.
Of marble?
And everything even not even just marble, some other metals as well too. But as for USAR, this trend line's holding up, guys. We had that big time pop, obviously, with the controversy regarding the tariff deal with China. You get this massive move. What I'm looking for is the breakout of this specific zone right here. You climb up 144%, and it's unfortunate that things started to cool down drastically. You're down 61% off of those previous highs. So be cautious. That trend line can still hold up. If it doesn't, steer clear.
Have you looked at the market? We are almost green on everything now, but shout out to Stephen Cannon. Joey, $5 super chat, thank you very much. Any chance LFS might lead or might head to 10? Lots of unknown variables with this somewhat new-ish stock. Let's take a look, Joey, at LFS. All right, what do we got over here? Okay, so give me a sec. So what is this company? The Fry, Japan-based company, mainly engaged in children's sports school business. Company provides 13 sports schools, from soccer and Liberta and basketball school to rhythmic karate, kendo, as well as offers classes that cater to various needs in different age groups with sports. Okay, I didn't know this was a thing. Apparently the IPO came on the 9th of October. This is a great move yesterday. Why did we have that great move yesterday? Let me take a quick look here at what we did. Why am I not seeing a consumer discretionary stocks? What? Okay, there we go. Now we can get it. Let's see what this is going to tell us over here. Not sure why it's not loading. Embarrassing. There we go. The Freyas shares are trading higher. Okay, what the hell? No, that's not it right there. LFS is what you guys told me, right? LFS? Yeah, LFS. I typed it in right. I don't know what the hell this is. Light path? Why is it showing me light path? What do I need with that? So this one halted apparently earlier today. I'm just looking at my news blotter, guys. Sorry, give me a sec. Okay, well, I don't have any news on it. I can't find. So let's take a quick look here at the technicals yesterday. The technicals were fantastic. Looks like we started out the day yesterday at around $2, maybe $1.75. When all was said and done, by around 5 o'clock, so in the aftermarket, we were up over 1,000% on this stock. That's ridiculous. Okay, so this thing's gonna come back down then, and it already is giving up a little bit, but not as much as one would have expected, given the strength of this one. Let's use some fibs here and see exactly where we're at, percentage retracement wise. So if we take it to the high, sometimes I never know whether to look for the wick or the closing print, but we'll go to 19s. So we've given back about almost, 75, 76% of the move at the lows. We're kind of holding in between the 38.2 and the 76.4 area retracements. It's kind of consolidative today, but right at the 8 o'clock, we were selling off quite aggressively. 9:30 comes along, we sell off as well. I don't know, brother. I'm going to look for support here at around $3, given what this one did in the regular trading hours. But what really catches my attention is what we started doing in the afternoon, because there had been about a $3 resistance levels on LFS. And then the aftermarket just brought all sorts of insanity, right? And this does seem like a head and shoulders to me. Remove all fibs. So there you go. There's the left shoulder, the head, the right shoulder. It's obviously no, as we always say with chart patterns, no two are created equal. So you had a neckline that was upwardly sloping, but that's absolutely fine. That could totally be the case. And I like how you came in and tested that support level again. Most notably, though, you made that lower high into 8 p.m., and then that selling continued right at 4 a.m. today. So I don't know too much about the company. There's not too much coming into my blotter on this, but, technically, given what it's done, it just IPO'd. Look at this, Joey. It IPO'd back on the 9th, had a monster day yesterday, but most of that move, Joe, was in the aftermarket when we know there are no halt parameters. Not the most. It started moving it around, I want to say 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, but, going into the aftermarket there, no halt parameters push this thing to 19. What's your take on this?
No, this is what I wanted to do. I was going to ask you to just give me a list of some of the, I'll do this here, right? So we'll go over to CoreWeave. And what I'm getting at here essentially is just a list of some of the IPOs that we went through. Circle as well too. Give me one more that we got to experience.
CoreWeave,
from CoreWeave, Circle.
We have Figma.
Fig. So essentially what I'm getting at here, I know there was a couple more in the books as well too, but as for LFS, I think the narrative, unless you're the exception of maybe CoreWeave, which I believe is holding up the best, is fade the IPOs, especially after these massive pops. I'm going to look to do the same. I mean, the break of this, I would not be surprised of whatsoever, considering you're almost cut in half already, 45% off of that previous high. This is just extreme. I don't know what's going on here necessarily, but be cautious just in case it does break through that level. We had Webull as well, too, I'm pretty sure as well, Sharif, didn't we?
Yeah, that you're not going to like that one.
Yeah, what I'm getting at is like a lot of these IPOs are just fade at the end of the day after those initial phase, with the exception of a name of CoreWeave. You do get a short play, but it's holding up the best out of them.
Look at that. That's a very interesting technical support there.
Look at this lower high right here.
And that's the thing. We got the lower highs and that flat bottom. It's dying to break there.
It looks like it wants to break, man. So yeah, just keep an eye out on that. I'm not gonna put this as LFS aside from any of the other ones. If CoreWeave and Fig and Circle are gonna fade, I wouldn't be surprised if that does.
All right, I don't think the other two stories are really, that important. So I think we're going to skip them. Thank you, Adara, for leading the new segment. Let's look at some of the trades that we've been looking at now, guys. It is a very, very good day for small caps today, however you cut it. Whether you're looking at SPRU, whether you're looking at QH, how about CNBM? And then, of course, the monster, the absolute rocket ship, baby, LPTX. It is halted again to the upside. $2.29. And Joey.
Yes, sir.
Look at that chart.
Let's see.
Can you find me a closing print below the 10?
No, sir.
The green line.
No, sir.
This thing is all gas, no brakes. And the beautiful thing is, you often don't get clean moves when something is halting to no end, like LPTX, and is up 423%. And by no bamboozlement or the lack of clean moves, what I mean is, like, it doesn't even break trend here. If you're basing it off the most rudimentary of the moving averages, or the first one I would use anyway, the 10 moving average, it didn't breach it. So, the fact that we weren't involved in the entire move up, obviously that speaks to, what we got to do on the show. But this is fantastic. LPTX is all gas, no brakes. I was quite happy with how I traded CNBM as well. I didn't quite get out at the highs, 339. I think I took out my last beak wetter at 25s. But this one is also, look at this one as well, above the 10 moving average and hasn't been below the 10 moving average since like 12 o'clock. So good look. The 10 moving average is at 310. Let's see if it holds up. I also like that $3 level because remember, we are really consolidating south of 3 for that big boy break. Now, we got a couple of false breakouts on 3, right? First and foremost, that initial break at 1240. And then look what happened when we sold off. We came into 285. Well, what's 285? Is that a random level? Absolutely not. It is a beautiful previous area of resistance. Katina, man, it holds up there clean and then mosey its ways right back into highs. So $3 would be an interesting level for me. Wow. If 310 doesn't hold. Show them what you're looking at, Joey.
Oh, man. It's done. I completed it.
Uh-oh. It's over?
Yeah, I finished it the other day.
Lock up, go home now?
Yeah, that's it. I finished it the other day, man. Some great performance here in the likes of Apple. But no, I wanted to pull this up to you guys. I know it picked up a signal. It better have. Oh, okay. And I didn't even have to tell you guys whatsoever. So there it is, a nice print. I thought this was going to be a losing one, but the criteria is still allowing us to sit within this trade. So I'm happy to have finally completed this, regardless if it's not going to shoot 100% or anything along those lines. 50% here on META. We'll take that. And that's a month span, a little bit more, right? If you go over a longer duration, it works extremely, extremely well. But I just wanted to point this out. It's picking up every single signal that I wanted to now. So that is finally complete. So we'll hit the bang, 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 and this on that one there. On as for the old algo, I want to see if it picked up the TQ signal. Yeah, I know it shouldn't. So there it goes, bang. Glad that it didn't close completely. Same with the SPY as well, too, guys. So nothing on that front. Today is a good day considering it's essentially a bottom catcher, a bottom feeder there, like tilapia. That if you get this continuous bleeding, it's not going to perform that well. So just wanted to talk a little bit about that. I got everything now. It's done now. It's just transferring it over to the API on something. So having fun with it.
See your friends at Coinbase?
What are they doing?
They're leaving Delaware. Yet another company exiting Delaware. And can you guess where they're incorporating?
Texas.
No.
Oh.
Following the Elon playbook, this decision was not made
That was a good guess. Oh, yeah.
Fantastic,
bang,
bro.
bang.
Good call on you.
All right.
Decision was not made lightly, they write. But we'll always do what's best for our customers, our employees, and our shareholders. He goes on to say many different things. Apparently, Coinbase is a very much like a lead like by initiative, lead by example type place where there's really not that much. They don't do a lot of meetings. They kind of frown upon meetings as, you know, wasting time, and they're more of like just productivity centric.
It was definitely one of the most popular exchanges for sure, without any question, right? So Coinbase, shout out to them. Yeah, I mean,
I want to just
cover
it.
Go ahead, man.
D-Loaf, Sharif. I'm a bit all over the place right now, stuck between two ideas on AMD.
Ooh.
I sold 200 shares at 262-ish. My man. All right, let's take a look. We got to, before we continue reading, I just want to see where AMD's at right now. 262-ish.
I'm wondering, are you short or did you own them before?
255, says Katina Man. Let's just finish reading. I sold 200 shares at 262-ish in the swing account, looking for the reload. Ooh. Play it on the day or be patient for lower. Great question. That's always the, you know, it's always the question that plagues a lot of people. Joey, when you look at the daily here on AMD, are you perceiving what I'm perceiving, which is an upward channel? You kind of like a very extra bullish bull flag where it's not sloping down, but sloping up with higher lows and higher highs. Look, brother, I would pick it up on, you know, this is kind of what I see the channel being. I'd pick it up on any dips into that channel. You got it today. You got a great one today, right into that high 230s, low 40s. You got it again. And here we are. We're trying to work our way back into 65, maybe even 70. Right, towards the upper end of the channel. Yeah, this channel looks like it might be, you know, it's been holding up since the 6th of October. Shout out to my old man whose birthday it is. I know Joey's on the 5th, but that's when AMD reported earnings, and since that time, it's been a series of higher lows and higher highs. Pick it up, you know, at the lower end of the range, and then continue to, you know, wet the beak. I don't know if you're doing this for the swing or the long term. It looks like you sold some out of the swing. But if you're looking for the swing, that means it's a trade. If it means it's a trade, then I'd be taking profits at the higher end of the resistance, reloading on the lower end until the chart shows me something different, until you get that decided break above the, you know, the upper trend line. And then you're going to have to look at it a different way. You're going to have to look at it as more of a breakout trade. But I like the range. It's fantastic. The company's up a freaking 111.5% year to date, doubling NVIDIA. So we're not trying to say AMD is better than NVIDIA, but I'm just saying price action wise year to date, that's what it is.
Yeah, no, I agree with what you have to say there, Sharif. I mean, if you sold at 263 or whatever number it is, you're pretty much near the top. It doesn't mean whatever you just gained, it doesn't mean you need to hop in full size right away either. No. Right? Like you could just grab a little bit more down here. If it's already a better price than what you're looking at. If it sells some more, you grab a little bit more. And that's what I'm talking about, breaking those swing trades into fists until you get into that full size and what you're looking for. Do the exact same thing here. AMD is going to be a fantastic stock, I think, in the near future and in the immediate. So I think at the end of the day, break it down. Don't go all in at once. You've made some cash on it. If you want to continuously remain bullish on this stock, then grab it at lower prices. But I'm going to be honest with you. I mean, that's a pretty hefty haircut, around like 25%. Or so, a little bit more, 30. I think we will get into this gap filling at some point. I could be totally wrong, and for that sake, I wish I am. But considering it's just a gap up here, additional gap up, this one did get filled to the downside. Now, some things have to go absolutely horrible, but we've seen what happened, the likes of NVDA as well, too, when we had that DeepSeek news come out. It was like the sky was falling at some point. I'm not necessarily not saying the exact same scenario is going to happen, but the chances of you getting in at a significantly better price are there. But start off slow, build into the position. If it rises, you got more skin in the game.
LPTX is open, guys, at 248 high. It's showing a down halt perimeter now, 222. Let's see if we actually halt here. I haven't seen too many false halts today, if any, from LPTX. So I think that this one will end up halting down, 222. We get the gray out. We're 610 million shares deep on LPTX. And as the OG Bovin was saying to me in the chat, He feels LPTX might be a multi-day runner. So let's take a quick look right now on LPTX's daily chart here to see what the OG Bovin is referring to when he says this could be a multi-day runner. So let's take a quick gander here, Joey Options. LPTX on the daily. I don't know, Bovin. I don't know, brother. You know, this one was quite depressed. Look at this. Like, at least we're not doing this, Bovin, right? So look at that October 6th print. What the hell does this company do, man? Why is it moving with AMD? Biopharmaceutical company. It has nothing to do with them. Biometric targeted antibody therapies. It just had a same day that AMD was moving. Anyway, I don't like these topping tail candles, but as we know, a lot of small cap gappers, their daily charts looks exactly like this because they have outsized intraday moves, and then you know the shorts will fade it right back. They're mean reversion traders. Shout out to OB and shout out to Chow in the back, the algo Chow. He was talking to me about, you know, that's his modus operandi. He shorts small cap gappers. He's exact opposite of me, but he takes monster size. Okay, so that's kind of his shtick there, and he's like it's a sure thing. He's like it's almost a sure thing that you know these ones are going to give it back. Sometimes that's true, sometimes it's not. Now we've seen LPTX do this before, so it wasn't just October 6th when it had a monster day. Had a big day, relatively speaking. August 5th had a big day again. June 23rd, all of them were topping tail candles, meaning that towards the end of the day, because these are closing prints, so they're official prints by 4 o'clock, the shorts were in control. Now, we are about 2 hours away from the close. Let's see if LPTX comes back to earth. Because if it doesn't, well, we could find ourselves right back into this range we had been in, Joey, into late 24, early 25, where the support level there, to me anyway, looked like 250. Alas, that is the high today. It is 248 on the dot. We are halted down to 222. Lo and behold, you know, this could be the start of a move back. Why? Because we're back into those technical areas of previous support, now resistance. I'm talking about 250. Let's go back a little bit more. Is this 250 an important level even prior to that? Yes and no. It does breach it.
There goes our guy.
What do you got, Joey?
CNBM there, brother. The baby mama right there. Great. Shout out to that one. Starting to climb back higher, man. I like this one. Well, I got to do this one for my guy to the right of me. Oh, can see him, man. Yes, sir. He wants some.
What's
stuff,
he doing?
No, you see now in the chat.
Joey, I want to mention one other thing. Tisha bringing a really good point. Thank you for mentioning this, Tisha, because I should have been mentioning this too. As you know, if you've been trading small caps, yeah, this is LPTX.
Yeah, look at the 5-minute there.
It's beautiful.
Look at that. Look at that inverted candle at the high.
Yeah.
There.
Let me just make this point. The point I'm trying to make is if you've been trading small caps, you know no halt parameters either in the pre-market or in the aftermarket. So if this one closes, you know, near the highs and people still see, you know, when the degens come back from work and they need to punch into something, the small cap world, they see it's still up 407%. This thing will go in the aftermarket. You know, nothing is guaranteed, of course, but look for this one to squeeze and squeeze royally in the aftermarket when there's no halt parameters. This could get crazy here. So, you know, after 4 o'clock is when that typically happens. But as I showed you, I think I showed you another chart, LFS, we're squeezed right into 8 p.m. It can keep going, right? So long as the volume stays there and people are seeing it come up on the scanners, people are going to punch into it. So thank you, Tisha, for pointing that out. Very good point, because, you know, as we get closer to the end of our show, that means we're obviously closer to the end of trading day, which is 4 o'clock, and that's when the halt parameters stop triggering. Joey.
No more of those. No more halt parameters. All right, let's take a look at what some of the earnings names that we have coming up.
Oh, brother, farm trader, don't get upset, brother. I'm a small cap trader with you as well. When I say DGen, I'm including myself. Don't take it too personally, okay?
Farm trader getting, I mean, like...
No, he's a good guy, but I just don't mean to...
was he offended by that?
Well, he's like, look, I make good money trading these small caps here in California. Absolutely, brother. Like, what am I trading every day? I'm trading small caps, yeah?
Hey, man, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, a $100 bill is a $100 bill. It doesn't matter how you got it. Obviously, aside from horrible criminal activity, we want to avoid that. But guys, we got Cisco after the bell, Pan American Silver. It's a quiet one, nothing crazy. Manulife Financial as well too. We got tomorrow morning. We'll take a look at some of these names. Disney, JD, we'll like that one for sure. Billy. So some of these ADRs coming into play for tomorrow.
We're open, Joey.
Oh, go ahead,
on
brother.
LPTX. We're open, guys. Nothing doing quite yet, Joey. We're still at 211. There's a buyer here at 211, a monster buyer. He's he's going to get taken out. There's 10s, there's 7s. So we're dropping here, Joey. The 10 EMA on the 5, a little south of 2, guys. It is at 193, but here comes $2. Are the buyers going to step in at the psychological level of support? The initial answer is at least yes, bouncing off that area low back into 7s, but not even close to that halt level open, Joey. Here we go. We're popping back off. Let's see if we can move back up above the $0.25. Good look right now in LPTX, but down south of 400. There's 19s, so nothing above the $0.25 quite yet. But look what time it is, Joey.
Oh, is it 2 o'clock? I was gonna say I'm a DGen too, man. I'm up there trading Blue Ocean. Sunday, we're looking at everything. It is 2:01. So banking those right there, Shreve. I'm starving. I can't wait to try out this. To try out this shepherd's pie.
There's shepherd's pie.
Yeah.
Is that right? Yeah.
Neil
says there's a lot of hot sauce there. But you know what I got, Joey? When I got back from the dentist, there were a couple of.
What'd you get?
There are a couple of egg omelets there. Ready for me.
Did you get the vegetable ones?
I got them. Yeah. Oh, we got to mix it. We got to keep. I might have to take one of
those, man.
You're gonna take one of them?
Yeah.
For me?
Yeah.
That's crazy talk right there, my boy. We got a sesh. There's always one for you, Joey, no matter what. All right, guys, we're sending it to the big boys. I'll see everybody at the big desk.
Easy.
Yes, we'll see.